First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT. You found us at postwrestling.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever podcast app you're using right now. And it's Tuesday night, which means
we are live on youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Hello, all the postmarks worldwide, and more importantly, on Tuesdays. Hello to the NXT friends out there. Hello. We are here, gathered here today to talk about some NXT. We're going to do that. We have a big show today. It's not a Paul White show, but it's a pretty big show.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. We did not go live on Sunday at 2 p.m. for Poison Rana. I'm not even sure if we had it in us to let everyone know we weren't going live on Sunday at 2 p.m. on Poison Rana. But there was a certain hockey game that we both got up very early to watch, and it kind of threw the plans for the rest of the day with that and our work schedule and stuff. So we're going to dedicate a bit of time at the beginning of this show to talk about some of the stuff we maybe wanted to talk about, including maybe a little bit from Dynamite last week, Raw, the build to Elimination Chamber, AJ Styles actually retiring, and a lot more. So probably go normally about 30 or 40 at the beginning of this show, and then we'll be getting into the NXT review, which I know you're all here for. So if you're interested in just that, just check the timestamps. They'll have you covered.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every Tuesday night here on Post Wrestling, we talk about NXT, but we have a whole other channel where every week we go through all the other stuff in the world of wrestling. So we did take the Sunday off, but this upcoming Sunday is a new show. So don't worry. We will talk all about Elimination Chamber. We'll get into a big preview in just a little bit about what we're looking forward to, some predictions and whatnot. But this Sunday we will be going live and talk about some Dynamite and some Chamber and everything else in the world is in wrestling. But I think we knew, like, hey, if Canada wins, we're probably going to want to go out and celebrate. And then Canada lost, and we wanted to just live in mourning. So what an experience that was. Like the Olympics, I can't say I'm usually too like, the Olympics. And, I love my country, patriotism and all that stuff. But I feel like for at least me and people in this city, and I think our country, the main event is the men's, for the Winter Olympics, I should say, men's hockey. Like, hey, the women, actually, that game was fucking awesome too. But the men's hockey feels like it's the main event because it's on like the last day and the Sunday. And for us, it was a Sunday morning here, at least in our time zone in Toronto. And what a sight, because people were up and Adam at like 6 a.m. going out and supporting, and there was people doing watch parties at bars and breweries, and even the bank, the ACC, the Scotiabank, they were airing it. It was just cool to see like the nation come out and go out to support and everything like that. It made an excuse for us to get together at such an odd, bizarre time, and I know you were really tired, but it was really fun to like watch some really class hockey. I mean, that was what a game. But like it was really cool to see like our nation kind of get together, and you got to see that all over, like the shots they showed of other cities in this country and everything. So that was a real, like, it was a real Canadian. It was nice snowing. It wasn't like too cold, but it was like snowing a little bit.
It was a nice day, yeah.
And then we fucking lost. All right, so then that happened.
I found it funny because as a Brit, I'm a Canadian as well, but like I often find the Olympics, it's like back home, we couldn't really give a fuck about Olympic football, Olympic soccer, because we have football all the time. Like we tend to be more interested in like the athletics, Summer Olympics, the running, the jumping, the throwing shit. And I find that similar with Winter Olympics. Like, I'm more about the sports I don't watch. But I think the thing is with hockey, unlike football, you don't necessarily have all these opportunities where it's best on the best and a world stage. Like, yes, there was the Four Nations last year, which was pretty fun to get into. And yes, US, we won that one. But it's Four Nations, like it's not to the scale of this. So I think you look at the teams and you expect it to be a Canada-US final, which it was. But I don't think you necessarily get the opportunity like other sports get with, your big like Rugby World Cup, your Football World Cup, your all those other sports that have those opportunities. I don't think hockey necessarily gets more than that. And Canada obviously prides itself on its hockey. So yeah, the whole nation getting together. I saw today, like, I think over 8 million. It was like 8.5 million watched in Canada for that men's.
That's pretty much the population of this country, by the way. So, at least Toronto's.
And yeah, so I closed the bar the night before, so I wasn't getting to bed till about 4 a.m.
We're messaging all day. I'm like, hey man, like we should probably watch.
I was just saying, I'm not doing a show. If I'm getting up for this, I can't. Like, I can't do 2 hours sleep. I'll be wanting to have a drink just to like keep going.
Of course.
And everyone is. So yeah, had about 2.5 hours sleep and then go back to my work to watch the game and met up with you guys. And then it becomes, it's almost like an airport drink, right? It's like airport the novelty rules, of. And it just got a bit ridiculous. And a lot of my regulars were there and stuff. And then I'm looking at the time and it's like, wait a second, we've had like 3-4 drinks and a few shots. And I wouldn't have even got to work to open if I was here on a regular morning yet. So yeah, there was some fun. We had some people falling over. That was fun.
Oh my God, dude. I thought our morning was going to go awry.
I saw him today. Quick. He's okay. His pride is hurt, but yeah.
So when Canada scored, which I feel like was only the one goal in that game, we jumped up in joy. We went to the bar you work at, the fine establishment known as Gabby's, King Street West. Asked for Davie, the best server there is, the best bar keep there is on King Street. And we went nuts, but this one guy just flew up and he just jumped so hard and he went flying back first. There was a table and this table is like bolted into the wall. Like this table ain't going nowhere. He totally did a back like head bump onto the table. And I was in shock. I was like, oh my God, this is not good. And then he just got up. I was like, okay. Then I realized, oh, people like a bunch of us and some families all showed up at this establishment early this morning after waking up early. I think Buddy here may be still up from the night before.
I don't know what time he started.
I think he was still awake from the night before. So maybe
I did see him today. He is okay. He said he woke up and the next day, like his thumb was purple. But apart from that, he's all right.
Oh, his head is okay then. Okay.
But yeah, like watch the game. Obviously, overtime 3-on-3 isn't ideal for overtime as well. You kind of want it to be like the playoffs in the Stanley Cup where it just keeps going. But yeah, they had a closing ceremony to get to, I guess. But then like that ends and like obviously disappointing, begrudgingly. Well done, USA.
I mean, what a game. Like that goalie was Hellbuck, man. That dude's a machine. Like, I know he's on the Jets and like wow, that was like super impressive. Again, I was like one of the best. I loved the Nations game. I really got into it last year. And is that going to come up soon or is that every whatever? Or are they going to bring that back?
I'm the wrong person to ask.
Yeah, true.
I know it was a success. Like last year was the first time they'd done it for a while, wasn't it? And it was a success. So I think they will want to be doing it again.
This is a lot. The most hockey I've watched in a lot was this like Olympics. But these are like top class dudes, and having the NHL players back in definitely made it like every game just felt like awesome. And this one did not disappoint. Okay, obviously Canadian at heart. I'm upset that we lost, but we have other things in this country for right now. We got Tim Hortons. Oh wait, no, you guys took that too. Burger King owns it. Our maple syrup's pretty good. Our comedy. Hey, SCTV's on Prime starting in a few days. Okay, so we got our nation's slowly healing. You know what? The best thing is, and we say on this show, borders don't tell me who are my friends and my family. So all the power to our American friends. You beat us in hockey, and now we'll be waiting for the revenge. The only thing I didn't like, and the only thing that truthfully, my pride is not hurt because it's a game. We can get over it. But I knew that the American president, Trump, would be obviously going after
shit.
Yeah, right. So that's the one thing I'm like, oh, this fucking guy's gonna do. And of course he's posting like AI and all that stuff. But I was just reading a lovely article about him on NPR's definitely worth a check. Anyone interested, from a few hours ago, the same day that he has the hockey team over there. You know, I heard this is tough for us, Toronto. Austin Matthews, he's our Maple Leafs guy, and he never wins when he's fucking playing for us. But of course he wins when it's the Olympics. And he came in, I think a lot of people were saying he didn't do a whole lot in that game. And then he did a whole lot for that game. So
yeah,
it's just funny, like hearing him afterwards talk about the same thing you hear about Canadian hockey players here. You know, my family and friends, like you growing up, your hockey parents, you got to wake up. There's a big grind, and he did it. It made him sound just like he is to us. So it doesn't matter if you're on one side of the border or whatever. Like we're all, whatever. But then I hear that he's also son of an immigrant parents from some certain countries. And today he went and shook that man's hand, and I was like, dude, if I was there, I'd go and then, make a whole scene or anything. So I think maybe people are let down by him, but it's fucking hockey players, man. I don't know. Just like wrestlers, man. Don't put your hopes into, athletes and entertainers sometimes. But
so apparently the next Four Nations is next year. It's every 2 years. So
okay.
We can let the Americans gloat until
you got
then,
this for
I
now.
But yeah, it was fun. We did that. Then Arsenal were playing Tottenham right after, which they're kind of rivals, and me being an Arsenal fan. So we decided to stick around for that. We even placed a cheeky bet. I was like, Braden, let's make it interesting for you. And we placed a bet, and everything came through except we needed, I think it was 10 corners, and 9 corners came in. So a little disappointed there. We then went for a walk, had a snowball fight on King Street.
That's right. Felt real Canadian. We were walking, and these two guys were having a snowball fight, but like across the street. So like when cars would pass, they would throw at each other. So we noticed that it was a bit of a like 3-on-1, numbers game situation in the snowball fight. So we felt real Canadian. Woke up early to get drunk to watch hockey, and then had a snowball fight on King Street. That was pretty good. That was
had
fun.
A coffee, then went to happy hour, had some tacos, had some margaritas, and then I was fading. That's when I tapped out and had to go home to bed.
I made the mistake of we were all going home, because now it's like in the afternoon. It's like we were drinking in the morning. It's like, what do we do with our lives? We were definitely not going to podcast about wrestling. So you went home, and then my girlfriend's like, hey, I'm going to do a Walmart run. You want to come? Worst decision of my life, because I was like toasted. So I was walking around Walmart like, oh, what am I doing
strange
here?
Like, I had 2.5 hours sleep, and then got up and I'm drinking Caesars and tequila and stuff, and then it was just weird. So I go to sleep at about 4 p.m. I wake up at 9:30 p.m. and I'm like, what did I even get up earlier? Did I go to the game? Was that all a dream? Did I just dream that this
did we
game
actually
happened?
lose?
It's like it either felt like I'd fit 3 days into 2 days somehow, like some weird Kota Ibushi way, or I just dreamt the whole thing. It felt so surreal. But luckily I'm back. I had the day off yesterday, which was nice to recover, and obviously we're sad, but it was still a pretty enjoyable weekend.
I'll tell you, all the Americans, I still love you, even though you beat us in our pride and joy. Like, some Americans are like, oh, hockey, ice hockey. First of all, when someone calls it ice hockey, I already know. You don't even, like, to us, all the Canadians, the population is sad here in this nation. And most Americans are like, what the fuck is hockey? What? You do what on what?
I mean, back home, hockey is field hockey.
Yeah.
And ice hockey is ice hockey.
Right.
Yeah.
Still. Like, it's just funny. Like, to us, it's like hockey. And to some Americans, they're like, what? Fuck no, football, dude. So, it's like our pride is like, we're supposed to be good at hockey. And then we have curling, which apparently we cheated at. I don't know.
Against the Brits. Well,
Oh,
no.
man.
They beat the Brits in the final, but was it the Swedes they cheated against, or Finland?
Right.
Or
Yeah, I don't
remember.
know. I don't know enough.
Drama.
Like that's, I don't want to offend, but also like that's what old people do on weekends is play curling. Like that looks like more relaxing, like shuffleboard, with your mates having a few pints. Whereas, I'm watching some of these snowboarders or skiers do like Will Ospreay 630s in the air and crash. And I'm like, that's pretty hardcore. And then these hockey games, which again, were pretty fun, but no disrespect to curling, but I do like it's fun when you do it. It is, you got to try it, but to watch it on TV, I'd say this cheating scandal is the most exciting thing that's ever happened in the history of curling. And I'm not even reaching there. Like that is just funny. That guy saying to fuck off. And then people are like, no, wait, you actually may have cheated. And it's like, oh shit. So I don't know, maybe our karma, we deserve to lose at hockey. But anyways, we'll get them next year. I thought Canada did bad pretty overall for Winter Olympics, considering our country's always pretty cold and wintry up here, but I don't know.
So that's our chat. Every now and then we try and talk about some real sports that we don't fully understand, but that's that. But we do, as you mentioned, Braden, do a show every Sunday, most Sundays, called Poison Rana. If you haven't followed us already, it's absolutely free. Go to our free feed on YouTube, Poison Rana Pod, or Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts for the audio version. And we normally talk a bit about everything else in the world of wrestling, including AEW. And we've had some big stipulations added kind of last week. So I thought maybe obviously this is the NXT show, but I kind of like to talk to you a little bit about Hangman MJF and the little wrinkle they've added to that.
Yeah, there's a whole lot going on. Again, this Sunday, 2 p.m., we'll talk all about Dynamite this week, but there was a big episode last week. I feel like AEW
on a run,
really cooking right now from a lot of the Dynamites the last few weeks, and then the Grand Slam. Like, honestly, the wrestling has been like killer. And I'll start with what you said, MJF and Hangman. Like, I love the story arc here. Like, to me, it kind of is the the Superman character or the Lex Luthor character. Like, Hangman is such the baby face story main character, if you will, of AEW, and MJF has been the bad guy, right? Like, so I do like them kind of going at it one more time. I kind of was left.
I think the very first Battle Royal, they were the final two for the ring.
Wow, didn't even
that.
Yeah.
Or no, to face Jericho, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like, I just feel like, they are like, I love the promo between both of them saying like, Hangman's like, we are pretty similar. We're not so different, you and I, because it is like they are two of one of the bigger day one AEW. I'd say big AEW success stories. Like season 1 AEW, season 2 definitely were two of these two guys like got to star status where I'd say before they were on TV as much as they were, especially MJF. So I love the promo between the two of them. I know we're recording this obviously Tuesday night. Tomorrow night they have another face-to-face. I did think one of the comments MJF made was some sort of a reference to Hangman taking photos with some friends. And I wonder if tomorrow he goes that kind of far, or would this be something that makes Hangman not want to do business at the pay-per-view if something were to be brought up?
Okay, so what I find interesting about it, I didn't necessarily think it was a home run segment. I thought there were some bits that were a little confusing, but what it has achieved is adding a lot of interest to this match. Because I think coming into this, you just go, oh, MJF's just won this title. We've already done quite a bit of flip-flopping around between, Mox, Hangman, Joe, MJF, just from June to now. And Hangman has lost something since losing the title. They tried to do the tag team with Swerve. We'll talk about him in a bit. That didn't quite hit like I thought it was going to hit. Like these two arch nemesis finally coming together, but they were fighting like Don Callis B team or something. It didn't feel like it was right.
Yeah.
And so Hangman's been like trying to, similarly to when he lost the title the first time, try to recapture something, recapture his mojo or whatever. But I don't think anyone going into it thought Hangman would beat MJF at this next pay-per-view. But now you've added this career on the line, challenging for the title, the Cody stip.
The Cody stip, yeah.
To it. It's strange because that was one of the biggest mistakes they made in season 1, if you will, of AEW. Because what that created was then Cody had to, they created the TNT title and they're trying to make out that this is as important, but we know it's not. And then you had the Codyverse of just Cody on his separate planet, building all his own feuds that don't involve the title. And it was all just a little weird. And unless, Hangman's contract's coming up and he's got desires to move elsewhere, which I haven't heard anything of, I think it's a real risk pulling this stipulation again. Unless it's this time like Tony Khan wants to try and do it right. But I don't know how you do that right. And he's not a guy. I think what's so great about AEW at the moment is finally all your top people want to be champion.
Yes.
And I think that has been an issue in the past where only one at a time has been wanting to be champion and the rest kind of forget that this title exists, or they go for another title in the company or even titles in other companies. So now it's making me think, well, maybe they just put it back on Hangman. And on where I felt, so I find it interesting because now I'm curious of the match because I can't predict it. Whereas I think before I would have been like 90% sure MJF's winning this. Now he put that seed of doubt in my mind, which I love. I love watching matches where I'm like, I really don't know which way they're going to go. What is also interesting is MJF in some interviews, I literally was just reading this earlier, saying about when Adam Cole got injured, those 3 months of him as champion, he said was like the drizzling shits. Now he's doing it in very MJF way, where it's like, I lost my friend, but obviously he's talking about those 3 months where he's a babyface as champion. Whereas, so it was kind of quite meta in a way. It's MJF kind of acknowledging, I think, like a lot of us thought, this title reign's not great now. It's lost something. You had this whole Devil thing and the Adam Cole thing, and that's
the injury
gone away.
The injury,
which threw things, but now you've got MJF still as a babyface. He's defending tag titles on his own. It's like all this weird sort of stuff, and just creatively it wasn't good. But I thought MJF was quite smart in making it work kayfabe as well. But he's essentially saying, I want to make sure that this title reign is the title reign. This is the reign I'm having. Whilst you're telling this story where neither of Hangman Page's reigns have been the reign it should be. So I find it very interesting that way. Go for it. Sorry, I was just like, the one thing I didn't like about the segment was I was a little confused with, it was kind of like Hangman saying, you pick a stip and I pick a stip and the audience will pick a stip, but I'm putting my title career on the line and it will be a Texas death match. And I'm like, sorry. So is that the match? Like that's where I thought maybe he got a little passionate and confused in the delivery. But apart from that, I thought it was really interesting segment.
It'd be funny if MJF says, actually, no, we're not doing that stipulation.
Yeah.
And they actually don't. Because I feel like, okay, it's the fucking best. We've seen some great Texas death matches in AEW, but we're still reeling off a hot one not even a year ago. But I don't know. Those two could easily go out there and kill it and each other in that type of match stipulation. So I don't know. Hangman's won the title twice. Maybe they do this where he loses and he never wins again. Or they then one time they go back on it. I don't know. It's wrestling, but it does make me interested because this is the best version of them finally making these characters feel like, I don't know, I don't want to say a proper sport, but a proper TV shows. Sometimes a championship would change hands and the show afterwards would start with just wrestling. And then the champion eventually would say something or have a match or something. It's like, no. Now you're having multiple segments week after week with characters who are top people, top guys, claiming they want the shot, claiming they want this title. And it's kind of flip-flopped. Hangman to Joe to MJF. We're saying maybe back to Hangman. You know, by All In, it could change again. So, like, I'm liking this, this, like, top guys going for it. I think it's the best that they've come up with in, I don't know, something has finally clicked in the world of AEW of like, oh, look, like, everyone's doing this for a reason because they want to be champion. Oh, nice. Okay,
and it
sick.
makes, we used to have, they don't necessarily do it so much anymore, but in NXT at the takeovers, there used to be the, like, World Championship match, the North American title match, and then there was a match that we were like, it's like a pseudo number one contenders. And that's kind of how this feels. It's like you have like Kenny, Hangman, MJF, Swerve, Andrade, Brody. I'd say the 6 right now. And you can do any combination of them to vie for that position of number one contender. And like, we've kind of mapped it out. It's like, oh, you should go like, you know, and then we've got Ospreay coming back. We have this match now. Yeah. And then you've got the Dynasty match in Vancouver, which Kenny would make sense as a challenger for. You even had a bit of an Andrade and MJF thing at House of Glory. So is that one of those stopgap, like, you know, big dynamites in between pay-per-views sort of matches you can do? It all makes sense, and just keeping with like that 6 for now, and then Ospreay when it comes in, and don't have them going for other titles. Because I think that's often a thing as well. Like when someone doesn't win the big title, so they go for the secondary title, it feels like a little step down. Whereas just having those 6 in the swimming pool, like fighting for that prize, I think it's been working. And then you get matches coming out of it, like we had Andrade and Kenny the other week, or this week Swerve and Kenny.
Yeah, I feel like finally the world title is making sense. And I feel like maybe that was something, there was critique of Hangman's run again, where, okay, at first it was smooth sailing, and then I don't know, got a little rocky, and then ultimately went over to Joe via Hook. And I don't know, people, I think we were pretty like bummed by that. So maybe they're going to try to right that wrong. Either way, I'm really looking forward to Mox and Hangman, but then there is like some doubt. Like if Hangman wins this, then he has a few contenders. We have to go back to Swerve because what's going on with him? We could go to Kenny. We could go to Ospreay. Like there's different things. So
all 3 of those matches sound great as well. You know,
I feel like this title could flip flop around a whole lot. And I don't know, the last month of AEW, just every Dynamite and that Grand Slam is just awesome show. And it's almost like where, you know, in certain times, okay, we like long runs and championship reigns and stuff like that. And we've seen long ones in AEW. So maybe it's the time where they're just trying out the Attitude Era, where the titles flip-flop like all the time. And that's some people love that era of like, look at all these top guys. Maybe it's just finally clicking of like, we don't need these long runs like we used to right now. The reigns of terror, if you will. So.
I think both work, right? Because it then makes a long run feel more special when it happens. But I think it keeps the unpredictability, and that was something that did work in the Attitude Era. No one had a long title reign in the Attitude Era, really. Like Triple H is probably the longest one I can think of. But most were only a couple of months. And check out our Christmas show where Maddie Edwards from Grapple.
List them all.
Wow. He's like, oh yeah. And then there's this Raw where it flips again, but the next episode, it's crazy. But maybe it's worth trying. Like
maybe this is.
As long as the creative is good, like I don't care if this title flips around a bit.
It's a prop. It's not. It's you know, like it's real. It's a real title. And it's gorgeous. It looks great. But yeah, like I don't mind that at all. I just want to see some good shit. And I think right now they've really hit a stride. I mean, I love MJF as champion, and I don't necessarily know if I want Hangman to win it back. But then he said, if I win, I can't. If I lose, I can't win it again. It's like, oh man, what are we doing here? So it has me hooked a little bit, definitely. But I'll tell you what really had me hooked was the main event. Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland, first time ever. And wow, one of the best TV matches I think maybe ever seen. That was awesome. Definitely lived up to the hype. And part of that was when Swerve turned and attacked him after the match. You know, I always say that one Sting Ric Flair match where it's the post Terry Funk turn and beat down.
Oh yeah,
adds like a star to that match rating simply because Terry Funk is just such a fucking beautiful actor in that post scene. It was like that where I'm like, damn, Swerve and Kenny just went at it, put on a Dynamite classic, and then right after it ends, Swerve attacks him and then ultimately puts him through the table and all that. I thought that was great. The heel turn of Swerve saying I had to do it. The whole story leading into I wanted this match. And this looks like it's writing Kenny off for Revolution, but I would imagine he come another Kenny Omega returns possibly for the Vancouver is probably your Swerve versus Kenny match.
Yeah, so apparently he's had a commitment for some video game thing in Japan, but he's trying to see if he can get out of it. At least that's when he texted me yesterday. It's like, no. That's the word on the street, okay? I thought this was fantastic. And I thought the like, it's not a double turn because they're both baby faces, but the slow turn throughout the match where both of these are fan favorites. And you had I thought the spot with Aubrey was great. And I don't give Aubrey a lot of credit because she's often a little too much camera hogging and a little bit too much, staring at cheating happening and whoop, men look away now. But I thought she was fantastic there. The way it was, Swerve getting her to check on the shoulder. And then did he pull her in deliberately? Was it an accident?
Yeah.
I thought that was great. But also on top of that, it wasn't like Kenny then had the visual pin on Swerve. Like they still, this was a clean win. And I think we were all expecting more shenanigans, like a bit of a screwy finish, which really, yes, a ref bump. But then Swerve was the one that gets the visual pin after. But then doing the catapult to the gut in the turnbuckle. And he just started being a bit meaner. And you heard this crowd switching and turning on him and being less 50-50 and full Kenny. And then to solidify it after the match with the proper heel turn. And Swerve going I needed this. It was okay, did he need to win the match or did he just need to be this bastard again? And that's more of the sense I got. He's someone who's kind of lost himself a little bit.
Sure.
We love Swerve, but definitely that edge has gone. And I thought the storytelling in this match, as well as just the quality of wrestling in this match, was so well done.
Swerve, man, he's another AEW success story for sure. I mean, obviously he was champion and all that, but he's already had an insane run. And I know he's come back and then he changed his theme song. He bulked up a little bit. Now it makes total sense with this heel turn.
Now the theme works.
Now the theme is perfect for what he's going to try to accomplish. And I mean, any Vancouver people, we will be making our way out for Dynasty on the West Coast of our beautiful country in Canada. And I would put money down that it is Kenny versus Swerve in some sort of a, I don't know, street for whatever thing. Because Swerve has been awesome. Kenny, man, Kenny, the whole story of the last, what feels like 2 years is, hey, he keeps coming back. Should he be doing this? Let's put him in some tag matches. And then he says, hey, I'm pretty good right now. And then it does make me question, did you just pick this up from Danielson of I'm just fucking with you and I'm just that good? Because every time I watch him this year, he's doing it again. He proves to me why I love to watch this dude. And that match was great. And I cannot wait for the rematch in Dynasty. And then follow me. They're airing the stuff with Ospreay. I think Kenny beats Swerve in Dynasty in Vancouver. And then whether it's MJF, which I think makes me lead to believe it's going to be MJF versus Kenny in Queens. And then what?
You'll have
then the Owen.
You'll have
Ospreay
Forbidden Door, won't you?
Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Forbidden Door, true. And then, there's the Owen Cup. You could have Ospreay win the Owen, face Kenny at Wembley for All In. So there's your roadmap there. But they've been cooking. Kenny Omega looked awesome. Cannot wait for that rematch. I thought Dynamite was real killer, and Swerve really was the killer there. He's a bad guy. Yeah, Kenny like that. I loved it. So awesome stuff that they've been doing. Looking forward to it. We got FTR and the Bucks. Bucks are now doing the old school Young Bucks. So I feel like FTR and the Bucks got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. I know they've wrestled quite a few times, but I think this one's going to be a bit of a banger. And then Takeshi Moxley also announced. Like, what?
Yeah,
crazy. And I think Takeshi's taking it. So,
oh yeah, one step closer to our Don Callis unification triple threat.
I mean, you're selling me on this. You're taking the 3 fucking goats right now, like Kyle Fletcher, who's unstoppable. Like, this guy is having another AEW success story for sure. Takeshi, the same thing, and then Okada. Like, you're saying, All In is the 3 of them in a triple threat.
Yeah,
I'm
with
sold,
all the
dude.
titles,
with all the goals. Oh my god, yeah. I want any version of those 3. They should do it like the WrestleMania 16, the the two falls, right? Even though,
but it would be 3 belts, won't it?
Oh, it'll be 3 belts.
So 3 falls, and just everyone swaps around.
Yeah, okay, maybe just one fall on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds great. Like, yeah, they're really cooking. I'm looking forward to the next few episodes. Like, tomorrow's looking good. The pay-per-views, yeah, Revolution's going to be really, really hot, with or without AJ Styles, who I would say is not showing up. I would love to see it. My heart wants it, but come on, man, he ain't showing up.
I mean, I think after yesterday, and that's a good time to pivot here to the AJ Styles tribute show on Raw last night. Did you get a chance to watch it?
Yes, of course. Only in the WWE can I watch a show that has Offset from the Migos, Bow Wow, and Abyss show up on the same show. I was on Twitter this morning, and I saw someone tweet like, Abyss has finally showed up on Raw. I grabbed my remote so quick. Like, what do you mean Abyss finally showed up? It was in about a 3-second backstage segment while Cole talked over it, but still.
I think it was actually really feel good with like, obviously you didn't have loads of TNA. You couldn't have someone like Christopher Daniels or Samoa Joe there, although they were shouted out during the show.
Yes.
But even like, look, I'm not really a fan of any of these guys wrestling, but even having like Gorillas of Destiny, not as their MFT selves, but with the Good Brothers, it was like, oh yeah, it's proper Bullet Club. And even that, and I'm so over the Bullet Club at this point, but a little callback to that I thought was nice. You know, Frankie Kazarian there, Abyss was probably the best reaction of the night. But, and you know, all the footage they used, that I'm sure you laughed as well when you saw Creed Higher was going to be the video. But really, for AJ Styles, of course it's Creed. Like, who else would it be?
Absolutely. Yeah. And very warranted, justified.
And I thought that video was great. And obviously the relationship they have with TNA now, being allowed to show all that footage in his tribute. And, you know, it's right from his debut in WWE. Yes, they don't always get stuff from New Japan. It's just, you know, he was in Japan and that kind of thing. But right from his beginning in WWE, he was treated a little bit differently. Whereas so often, you know, it's you haven't made it until you've made it in WWE. We're going to change your name. We're going to forget everything you did outside of here. Whereas they embraced it with AJ Styles when he came in. He came in as this outsider that all the wrestlers on the roster are saying he's one of, if not the best in the world and should be here. And that story's really carried him through the whole 10 years. And TNA has been such a part of his career. And I thought them highlighting that was a really cool thing to do, and felt like this is what we wanted. And I think this gave us the closure we needed. And I think was smart. And I wonder if, you know, Atlanta being so close to it in like date wise to the Rumble, whether this was always in mind or because of all the rumors that have been going on that they've been, we kind of need to squash these and put this to bed. AJ, you got to tell everyone you're not wrestling right
now. Like,
say how much you love your wife and your kids. And yeah,
absolutely. Okay. Like, I think it was a year ago when there was that contract extension. Like, that would have been where people like me were like, oh, hey, go be elite with all your friends. But clearly the last year was like, no, he wants to be in WWE. And I totally will still lose my mind if Demigods hits at Wembley. But I day by day, my friend, the hope goes out just a little bit more. I mean, look, the guy's incredible. One of the best to do it, hands down. Like, I wish this episode, I wish they did Raw. I know they were in Saudi for the Rumble, but like, I wish this was the episode after the Rumble, because for the last few weeks, it has left people like wondering, okay, not just that, but like also it just, I watched it and you said it like, hey, you didn't have certain people there for you. And I don't know what it was, but maybe even the John Cena retirement, like it felt kind of half-assed. And I'm not saying this felt that way either, but like, I don't know.
The John Cena one is he had the whole year retiring, didn't he? So
yeah.
So when he had that match, like I would have still liked something like this. Like I'd have still liked, you know, properly the roster there having a speech. But Cena had kind of been cutting a retirement speech every place he went for the year, right? So I thought this was great. And yeah, I think it would have been more effective right after. But then you that's making sure they booked Atlanta for after the Rumble and all that. So I get it. And you know, it was fun to speculate for the last few weeks as well.
Absolutely. I still will, you know, it'll be till All In ends. Then we'll be like, all right, he's done. We'll see
in a couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. See how bored he gets with
his
video games. Yeah. I loved him shouting at his wife, man. Like, you know, these people go on the road for our entertainment. Like, this guy's been in WWE for 10 years grinding. So I know before that he was doing it too. So,
but I remember, I think, was it Austin's podcast or something when he first came over to WWE, and he was talking about how much his wife like financially supported the family for quite a bit while he was, you know, trying to make it as a wrestler or level up money wise and stuff.
No one ever really says bad things about this dude. So it's a shame. Like Undertaker coming out, he's like Death, but the opposite, where he's like, hey, you're going into the Hall of Fame.
Matt, like how is Undertaker the guy who's now doing these Hall of Fame?
He's the Undertaker. What do you mean?
It's just like, oh man, I find it so funny because they did the classic Triple H, you know, logo in the corner.
Yeah.
Show's gonna end. And then Taker comes out. And like for a second, I'm like, fuck, are they setting up a match?
Boneyard 2.
Well, the first thing Undertaker says is like, essentially, why the fuck are you leaving your stuff in the ring? Don't you remember Undertaker lost to Roman in Orlando, leaves his boots and his coat and his hat in the ring, and then the next year Cena talks to him and he magics them back on.
Right.
So like, I was like, is he going to go, you can leave your stuff there, but doesn't mean you're done. You're never done. Then he said, everyone knows that old phrase that I'd never heard of. He was like, if you're going and then someone's coming, you're going. Saying unfinished business. I'm like, are we getting this? And then he does his like podcast. Like
he'll be on
jokey Taker face, and it's you're going in the Hall of Fame. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Oh, I mean, easily deserved, obviously.
Oh, 100%.
Like, yeah.
I find Taker ridiculous. He's so funny. Like, how is this the guy? Like the gimmick protected for so long.
You don't like him being the guy,
and he's coming out as Ryan Seacrest telling people they're in the Hall of Fame.
Well, would you rather his wife do it?
No, I just
yeah. He'll get her involved
just
somehow.
Makes me laugh. Yeah.
She'll start coming out with him.
Who do you see inducting, AJ?
Man, it should be Samoa Joe. Fuck it. Let him come over for one night. Let him come over for one night. I don't know. Who else? John Cena? John Cena might be going in too. I don't know.
I don't think he'll go in this year.
So then maybe he could induct AJ.
I feel I feel you'd want to maybe save Cena until
Who else has been linked to AJ that's in WWE right now? Abyss, Kazarian, like I don't know.
I could see it being the Good Brothers, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Like I know not like big
they
names.
They weren't even there.
They were there. They were there at the end.
Oh, were they? Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah. But like I feel they put on a funny speech and there's a connection there.
Right.
At least.
True. Okay.
Yeah, because most of the others aren't. Maybe CM Punk. I don't know.
Yeah, true. I know years ago when TNA wanted him to go into the Hall of Fame, he said, I'll only go into Hall of Fames when I retire. And now he's going to the Hall of Fame. And I was like, pack it in, boys. He's done. He's playing video games till the cows come home. So, yeah. Pour one out. AJ Styles. What a career. I mean, a few weeks ago, we did a show. We do a series podcast called Best Match Ever. And we make a playlist of different things, wrestlers or gimmicks or feuds or whatnot, pay-per-view matches, all types of things. But we did a Best Match Ever, AJ Styles in TNA. And like a lot of the matches we watch and review and talked about are available for free on TNA's YouTube. Of course, no one, God works fast, but TNA's social team work real fast. They work faster because there was a lot of clips from those matches we watched in this like WWE package that they aired yesterday night.
Yeah.
So if you want to follow along and AJ's still in your brain, you're like, oh, I want to go back. We have the matches listed, and then you can listen to us review, rate, and talk about like 7 of AJ's best TNA matches on our Patreon. And I know we will be. Yeah,
next week we're gonna be doing part 2. We're gonna be looking at 7 New Japan matches, including Okada, Tanahashi,
Suzuki,
Nakamura. A whole lot of matches there to talk about, which
very excited. His run in New Japan was epic, to say the least. So definitely looking forward to that. So if you're a fan of AJ, that first TNA pod is already out, but we will be reviewing next week AJ Styles in New Japan, a Best Match Ever podcast. So tons of shows coming out, not only on the free feed, but on the Patreon. Eventually, we will get to a Best Match Ever AJ in WWE, but we'll get there one day. But we will do
Hall of Fame. We can,
exactly, around WrestleMania, maybe after that or whatever, and it'll tie in beautifully when he shows up at Wembley, right?
Yeah.
Right. Still holding out hope, but not really though. We have tons of shows. I mean, you can get 2 of those shows. We'll be recording that New Japan AJ show next week, but we have tons of podcasts over. Yes, we have a free feed. Subscribe, Poison Rana podcast in your podcast app. But for $5 a month, you can become a friend and get tons of shows per month, plus all the other back catalog shows. We have a show called Best Match Ever. Like I said, we have a show called Was Next, where we go back in time and review old NXT. We've gone through the whole Full Sail era. We are currently in the summer of 2014. So that is a podcast series for true NXT heads out there. But we also have another show, which was getting lots of love. Thank you to all the listeners of The Champ Is Here. And this was episode 14, where we looked at the John Cena versus Randy Orton undisputed championship ascension ladder TLC match. That's right. Talking about John Cena, Randy Orton one last time, maybe back from 2013, 14, 2013, the good year of John Cena, sort of. Cena, Alberto Del Rio, Sandow, and Randy Orton. We've been going through every John Cena title win and reign in this series. We've had tons of guests join us on each episode, but Eric from The Draw joined us to talk all about this run. Eric was a lot of fun to talk to. Basically, John Cena returns from this huge elbow injury, and Del Rio's whole thing is, I'm Mexican.
Yeah.
And that's how John Cena won his 14th title.
Yeah. They were like, how can we quickly unify these titles? So we stop having Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio with the other world title. So yeah, great episode. Getting a lot of great feedback for that. We've only got a few of these left. We've got 15, 16, 17, and we want to do the US Championship Open Challenge run as well. So all that coming out. We also have an Up Yours. We recently were joined by world champion patron Howie Nishi to talk about his pick, Kill Bill Volume 2. A bit of delving into the world of Tarantino there. That was up very recently. We've got a bunch of movie reviews in our back catalog. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about Beyond the Mat from 1999, the documentary movie as picked by our patron Jake, for a new episode of Up Yours.
Yes, always shout out Jake from the Windy City. He has selected this iconic wrestling documentary, which you've never seen in full. Now, you've definitely talked about different clips and stuff from it, but it is a whole hour, 45 minutes or so. And I've seen it quite a few times, but not in a long time. So definitely excited to talk about this movie. It shows the whole world of wrestling, Vince and WWF. You got Terry Funk, ECW, Mick Foley, WCW. It's awesome. And as a wrestling fan, you got to watch this if you've never seen it. So in our little media book club, Beyond the Mat is something we'll be reviewing, recording tomorrow. So look for that in your Patreon feed this week, as well as tons of other movies and wrestling and so much more. So $5 to become a friend. It supports us. We review NXT on Post Wrestling on Tuesdays, but we do tons of other podcasts. We're two independent dudes who talk about wrestling and have fun. So if you like what you like and you like what you hear, appreciate and check out patreon.com/PoisonRana. Appreciate the love out there. And last plug, I think probably not, this Saturday, if you want to lock in and you're in the Toronto area, we will be doing an Elimination Chamber watch party at National in the Well, 486 Front Street West, downtown Toronto. Showtime is at 7, so come around 6 or so. But poisonrana.ca for all our links, including the event right there. We're going to have the wrestling on all the screens. We got some great prizes, some games. We got some cool stuff to give away, as well as some wrestling drink specials. The Poison Ranas on tap. The Jelly Kings will be on tap as well. If you know, you know, and so much more. So if you're a listener and you want to hang out and watch the wrestling, we will be at the National this Saturday. We had so much fun at the Rumble, and we will be doing some WrestleMania watch parties as well. So look forward to seeing you out there. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to it. Rumble was great, and very much looking forward to the Elimination Chamber to see where the final pieces are going to start falling together for WrestleMania. There was some more news coming out of Raw yesterday with Bronson Reed being injured in a match where it looks like he was supposed to be going over. It made a whole lot of sense with the story with the Vision and, you know, needing another heel in this Elimination Chamber. But yeah, just like kind of fluke injury here as he's breaking up a pin and just, what is it, a distal bicep tear, they said, and will be out for quite a while by the looks of it. But really unfortunate there. And yeah, so Jey Uso taking his spot in Elimination Chamber. But yeah, this the Vision kind of like, what even is this anymore?
The Vision is not clear. The Vision is not cleared, I guess, to compete pretty much. It's just Austin Theory at this point. Oh, and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. Yeah. And one of them is the Masked Man.
Yeah.
This story is completely fell apart. Yeah, unfortunately. Like, I haven't loved it. I was definitely one to be like, oh man, put Paul with Seth. That'll be so good. And then I think since day one of Seth being with Paul, I was like, oh, actually, no, I take it back. I don't like this. And I haven't liked anything from this Vision thing. And unfortunately, it's fallen apart because you feel for Bronson because he's kind of been like, you know, he was released or let go from WWE and it comes back. And I'd say a bit of a success story of how, you know, big and popular he's gotten. So I know that's got to suck and unfortunate timing for him. So I definitely feel for that. But I'm sure we can rehab and get to some sort of like, are we assuming Logan Paul versus Seth at WrestleMania at this point?
I mean, will Seth is there?
Will Logan be?
Like, is there even point in rushing Seth back at this point?
Yeah.
You know, like if there's not a ready-made program, do you like, is he one of the people to potentially challenge Brock? Like Brock put out the open challenge. I don't see that being something you'd go back to.
No, I figured it would be the cops showing up to fight Brock. That's who's gonna show up. I don't know. It sucks because the Vision stuff, like Seth, the whole Masked Man, it's kind of like the devil thing where it's like, oh wait a second, there's injuries now. Just fuck it. Just
you're best just to abandon it. Yeah,
just throw it out the window and go somehow pivot to, if Seth is going to be good and you think that is the chance, then just do Logan and Seth and do Logan. You know,
I mean, I
don't even know. I don't really care. I haven't really liked it, so I don't know.
No, honestly, I just have Logan and Theory as a tag team. Go for the tag titles, put them on a ladder or whatever.
Sure,
but it's really unfortunate. I think we can save more of like maybe the Brock Lesnar Open Challenge with the Elimination Chamber chat on Sunday because we do have to talk about NXT.
Well, quickly, like, so Chamber is what, Saturday?
Yes.
So you're saying Jey Uso? So I was gonna say, are you saying Jey Uso is gonna win it?
Absolutely not. No. No.
Quickly. His
pod will open. He'll yeet and eat a trick knee and get pinned or whatever.
So you're saying Trick's winning the Chamber?
I mean, I don't really see anyone but Cody winning the men's. Okay, let's look. It's a 4-match card for Elimination Chamber. We have Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Jey Uso. Whole lot of baby faces there, and Trick, who's probably the most over of all of them, as the sole
he might
heel.
be the most over in WWE right
Yeah.
now. It's crazy. It's crazy how over that dude is. So fuck it, give him the title. Give him the WWE Championship. I would say it's Cody, right? Like,
I think it's Cody. I still think there might be some fuckery to get Jacob involved, maybe. Because I don't know. I think they're trying their best. Drew especially is really trying to make this title feel important and stuff, but it's tough.
he could defend it, but they're not booking. Like, I know 4-match because it's Chamber. They did it last year too, but still, like,
there's a Raw. They did it last year, didn't they? They had Rhea drop to EO on Raw leading up to Mania.
So are we just saying Cody winning that Chamber? Like,
I think so. Yeah. I think Cody. I think LA Knight could potentially be a option for Brock. So like I think they'd want to give LA Knight a big match, and him feuding with the Vision, but then there being no Vision, I guess Brock would make sense. If it's not LA versus Brock, I think Oba versus Brock. I think I think I'd prefer to see Oba, but I would like to see LA get something big on this year's Mania. But I can't see. Yeah, fuck yeah. I'd love to see just Trick win it and challenge Drew at Mania. Like, why not? Something fresh. Like, switch it up. But I don't see that being the way they're going.
I do see Cody Drew one more time at WrestleMania, just a one-on-one. I think that's what needs to happen, and hopefully we get some good story from the two of them. But once we get kind of past that, I don't know. I didn't necessarily love Raw too much. I really didn't like, was it SmackDown that I watched too? And I'm like, man, like, I'm not excited for this Chamber, to be completely honest, at all, really. There's not a single match I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm really excited. I'm not feeling it, but we're going to watch it. And I'm interested to see once it's done, so that maybe we can get some direction of where we're going for WrestleMania. But I don't know, last year felt a little bit more amped up, and I'm not saying I'd say out of all the matches, Punk and Balor, I liked the Raw one in Belfast, so this potentially could be even a step up from that. Obviously Finn's not going to win, but
I think they've done a really good job, and I think if it was any other time of the year, I think I'd be more into it. I think they're doing a really good job with it. I think what's interesting, and I think what they have actually been assuming that they go with it, they've done a really good job in building this story where, Finn's not winning, but you're already interested in what the fallout is. They're like, I know Judgment Day have always been kind of friction there, but really, really kind of going heavy that we could be having a bit of a Finn Balor babyface turn, and the stuff with Dom and JD. So I think even though, like, it seems like a foregone conclusion, we'll at least get Mania consequences coming out of it, which I think's been quite smart. And I think both Finn and Punk have been pretty good in this build. It's a shame that we know it's Roman Punk, and we know they're not deviating from that.
What was with that crowd last night? Because, man, you could see the, like, Punk's soul leaving his body for a second there when he shouts out Terry Funk and then looks, and it's just crickets. And then he's like, he names a few more people and then says Roman, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah. And he was like, man, what the fuck? It was just so quiet, and he was like, oh, never mind, I forgot where I am for a second. It
was just full of rappers. They don't know Terry Funk. Just drop Ric Flair and they'll know who it is. Was Bow Wow there for his ongoing feud with Jade? With Jade, yeah.
That should be the WrestleMania match.
Well, yeah, so Liv picked Stephanie. So, yeah, Jade is Bow Wow entering the women's chamber?
Man, like, even that segment, I thought it was cool that, Liv attacked her, but Jade looked like a geek leaving. Like, oh, all right, see you later. It's like, what? I don't know. I think Liv Steph is the match, but I just thought, what is Jade doing? Right? What are we doing with Jade?
She then had a really weird interview with Kathy Kelly during a commercial break where Kathy felt flustered, and then Jade starts a promo and it just fades to black.
Yeah.
Like,
what are we doing with Jade? What's going like? Okay, no one can argue. You take a look at her, you're like, yes, WWE superstar, like superhero, like, but I don't know, like does not work for me. Like the wrestling definitely isn't connected, but even whatever this character and the promos and stuff, I just thought she was really misused in that segment with Liv and Steph.
It was weird because she kind of had to be there because it was picking the champion, but it happens a lot in wrestling where suddenly someone you need them to teleport away, don't you?
Yeah. Thank
it's
you.
like, all right, we're moving on.
So who wins the chamber then?
So we've got Tiffany, Rhea, Alexa, Asuka, Kiana James, and Raquel Rodriguez.
Who's facing Jade?
I see it being Rhea. I think with EO not making it to the chamber, I think you could do something where Rhea's wanting to do both, wanting to defend the tag titles and go for the women's. I think that can build friction with her for story with EO later down the line. But I think when like Jade roll called them on SmackDown, it was Rhea with the biggest reaction, and she saved her for last as well. So I do think that's the direction. As much as I think Kiana James has stepped up the last couple of weeks, I don't see it being Kiana James versus Jade at WrestleMania.
Yes.
And really, who are the other options? Like maybe Tiffany, but I don't think so. I see this being Rhea.
I'd say Rhea or Tiff, as the two picks there. Like Rhea is tall, and so is Jade. Like the visual of those two fighting is definitely like a WrestleMania matchup. So it's just Rhea would have to do a lot of the heavy lifting in that one, I would say. When it comes to the match.
I think whoever's facing Jade is going to do
like
the heavy lifting.
And then what? Becky and AJ Lee?
Becky and AJ, yeah.
You think this feud's going to go all the way to WrestleMania?
100%.
Oh, man. Like, I think broken record here. I think the Becky Lynch, AJ, legends, obviously, for many, many reasons, but I have not liked this feud whatsoever. And like the Becky Lynch stuff, I don't know what it is about it, but I felt justified when I hear other people like talking to someone like, oh, did you watch? It's like, yo, what are they doing? What's this Becky Lynch? I'm like, okay, all right. I feel justified when
I enjoyed this week and last week more than the first week. I feel they've I feel like they've been aware of it. Like Becky's promo was a lot more serious this week, but I kind of feel the damage was done as well.
It's too late. Yeah.
Hopefully they can, hopefully the match can turn things around a bit. But I do see this going to Mania. I don't really see any other options. I can't imagine you having this big AJ Lee return to not go to Mania. And I can't really see you rushing an opponent for Becky Lynch at this stage for Mania. So I feel whether it's AJ wins it and then you get the Becky trying to get it back at Mania, or does Becky cheat and retain it?
Yeah.
So AJ goes chasing for the title at Mania.
I think that's the story, is Becky retains here, but to have AJ be like, actually, no, I want my WrestleMania back, and I want that title to win it. Becky keeps referencing my favorite butterfly title. So maybe AJ could bring it back, or turn the IC into it.
Yeah,
bring it back. And then Punk wins, obviously. This is where we're going with that. They should do the biggest thing and just have Finn win, and then Punk wins it back on Raw, just to fucking really, really mess with people to think otherwise. But I don't know. I haven't loved the build to it. I think obviously stuff with the Vision, the injury sucks, but that doesn't necessarily change where we were going with this Elimination Chamber. I love how Javon Evans is at such a young age become such already a real prominent star pretty quickly on Monday Night Raw. And it was the same for when we watched him on NXT, pretty much right away. We're like, this guy's great. How old is he? What?
I wish just Michael Cole didn't say can you imagine him hitting the OG cutter off the pod? It's obviously we've all been thinking it, but
right.
It's essentially going oh, what's Shane McMahon gonna jump off of today? It's if I was Javon, I'd be like, well, fuck. Now
I'm gonna do it. Yeah,
I've got to do something. Fuck.
Yeah. It was weird seeing Offset be he's Cardi B's ex. So they don't get along too much anymore. So I guess Cardi B nowhere in WWE. When was her last appearance? Like a year ago.
SummerSlam.
Right. I mean, his appearance wasn't great, but I would say it was better than Cardi B reading cue cards at that SummerSlam. So
yes.
But do you know who Offset is? I mean, I guess you do now, but
Migos.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They do the
grandma.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, your favorite. Elimination Chamber. There you go. We'll see. Like once that's done, we'll have more of a direction for WrestleMania, I think, and hopefully it leads to some good stuff. But yes.
So, final plug, join us this Sunday, 2 p.m. We'll be spending a lot of time on Elimination Chamber, maybe some other thoughts going towards WrestleMania, as well as our thoughts on AEW Dynamite and a bit of Collision this Sunday and any other news that's coming out. So join us 2 p.m. Follow at Poison Rana Pod. And yeah, but I think it's time to get into some NXT, don't you?
NXT. Start doing Migos ad-libs for everything you say. Yeah, I think it's time. Finally, an hour into the show. I know all the fast forwarders are upset, but if you made it this far, I appreciate y'all. Peace and love.
Just in general, if I say 30 minutes, I mean an hour. So there we go.
3 hours fucking long. So yeah.
NXT from February 24th, 2026, live from the Performance Center. And we start with the interim GM, Robert Stone, opening the show, just running down the matches we're going to see. They didn't brand it as a Title Tuesday, but very much a Title Tuesday this week. And we start things off right away with the NXT tag team titles on the line against Vanity Project, DarkState Vanity Project. We start with Ricky Smokes in the ring with Osiris Griffin. Smokes just charges into Osiris and gets knocked down by the big guy. Looks shaken, so tags in Brad Baylor, and both charge at Osiris this time, and they both get knocked down. And look, how can we take down this big guy? Baylor goes for a crossbody, but gets knocked down, and then Smokes gets slammed off the top right onto Baylor. DarkState then start quick tagging each other. They're dominating early. We get a big boot / neck breaker combo from DarkState. And then Osiris launches Baylor face first into double boots from Saquon Sugars. And then launches Smokes through the ropes as like a tope suicida, but he's throwing him right into Baylor on the outside. Baylor then manages to come back, catching Sugars with a jumping knee and a spear. And this allows Vanity Project to make a bit of a comeback during the commercial break. Baylor then hoists Sugars up for a big drop kick from Smokes, but Sugars kicks out. Finally, he tags back in Osiris, who's taking everyone out. Big double crossbody, chokeslam to Smokes. And then it was almost like do you remember when Braun Strowman briefly did the like chokeslam from behind?
Like, yeah.
I think like James Ellsworth, like he did this too, like grabbing him by the head and throwing up, but slamming him on top of Baylor. There's then a jackknife cover from Swipe Right for a near fall, and then a Doomsday Device drop kick from DarkState.
That was really nice.
Yeah. But Jackson puts the foot on the rope. Yes, Jackson Drake on the outside, helping Vanity Project with the foot on the rope. This pisses off the rest of DarkState, and Cutler and Lennox get into the face of Jackson Drake. So all the referees run out to tear them apart from each other when Tony D sneaks in and delivers his spine buster to the apron. I was going to say, unfortunately, awful looking spine buster here. Sugars barely takes any of it, gets rolled into the ring, and Vanity Project win and become your new NXT Tag Team Champions.
Yeah, we swiped right. Is that right? When you swipe right means good, right?
Yes.
Yeah. We swiped right. We knew these guys were destined for gold, but maybe not this quickly. But I think last week we both were like, yeah, they should just win because they should. They've become some of the best stuff on Tuesday nights in a short amount of time. And these guys are also very young. So there were some cool spots in this match. I thought DarkState, for some reason, this crowd, I mean, both these teams are heels. So the crowd were, I guess, taking to DarkState over these guys.
I was very surprised by that.
Yeah, like Osiris hit a really cool like crossbody to both of them, and he's a big dude. So that was where the crowd started to maybe pick up that they were on their side. This woke up Booker T as well, being like, "What the hell?" You know, Booker gets a lot of hate, and you know, maybe rightfully so, but at least he gets like hype about things sometimes. You know, he gets into it, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to defend him, but I'm not really though. I like these swipe right guys. This was the right call. Like DarkState not necessarily doing a whole lot here in NXT. So let's go forward with the new young heels. And I think we've been complaining about the tag division in NXT. These are the perfect fit right now. Like two guys who can wrestle and are like annoying Gen Z heels. Like, yeah, okay, I'm in. So I'd say highlights of my Tuesdays for the last is Vanity Project.
I've been really enjoying Vanity Project. I didn't love the match. I think they've had way better showings recently with like Hank and Tank, and even didn't they face Chase U? That rings a bell. But yeah, I think they've had better like highlights on this match. Really pleased with the result. I think this is what we predicted last week. Like it makes a whole lot of sense. DarkState just haven't been working. I don't think they're the worst workers in the world. Like I think they did some cool stuff in this match, but they just, I think where the difference is, like they brought them in trying to be the Shield, but what I remember what really got the Shield over was just always putting on really exciting tag matches and 6-man tags. And these guys haven't been wrestling every week, and their matches haven't been overly exciting. So it felt like this match was making an effort to really highlight Osiris, which works. I think him and Saquon as a team, you know, big guy, smaller guy, traditionally works. My issue was with this show, you have 3 matches in a row where you've got generic big guy doing generic big guy things, because we're coming up to Keanu, Carver, and then Jasper, Troy, and they were doing the same with Osiris here, where it kind of makes them just all blend in together. And I wouldn't necessarily say I saw anything unique enough from the 3 of them to set them apart.
That's the DarkState, definitely. Like they have not necessarily had the best, you know, matches or best story. Like there is no story. What is their story? Oh, no one's safe. Like it's totally been a copy paste of the Shield. And I don't know if they're necessarily going to like disband or anything. Maybe Sugars and Osiris could be just a tag team without a relation to the other guys or whatever. I don't know, but I'm just happy we kind of got away from that. That there was no tag team division. We still need to bring new people in for sure, but at least this is a step in the right direction. And I kind of agree. Like I didn't necessarily love this match, but it made me be like, okay, well, at least we're moving to something different than just these two kind of holding these titles for no reason. So I guess that's
we get an interview with Myles Borne with who's this? Sarah Schreiber. She says, this is the biggest match of your career. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he challenged for the NXT championship
against
PLE.
Oba.
Yeah. So no, it's not Sarah. But Myles says, look, Ethan didn't think I'd do what I did last week, but I did. And people didn't think I'd be here when I went for my tryout, and I got accepted during COVID, but here I am. No one thought I'd be a D1 athlete without experience, but I did that as well. So tonight I will no longer be known as the deaf kid Myles Borne. I'll be known as the new North American champion.
Little solid promo. I like him saying like, hey, although I hate when people say, and I did sports things. I'm like, all right. But he sounded good.
We go to our next match, Keanu Carver versus Sean Legacy.
His Carver's theme kind of sounds like something Offset would rap on, or it's real hard trap beat. I like Carver's music. He comes in so angry, and I swear someone in the crowd was trying to get over "Why are you angry?" chant. That didn't get too over, but most wrestlers, if you're evil, you look kind of angry, and
you roar, don't you?
Yeah, of course. Yes, of course.
So yeah, Keanu Carver wears these like Muay Thai style shorts, but with tassels on them, and right away these tassels are just falling on the ring mat here, kind of distracting throughout the match. Legacy's trying to stick and move using his speed. He hits a drop kick through the ropes, goes for a suicide dive, but eats a punch to the face. This allows Carver to just dominate. He hits a big back body drop, big back breaker, and then military press throw, just launching Legacy. He then sits Legacy on the top rope. I'm not quite sure what he was going for here. He was like choking him on the top rope and then just drops him to the floor. He then sets up to hit the pounce through the perch like we saw in the ladder match. But Legacy saves himself with a super kick, rolls him in the ring, hits a springboard 450 for a 2 count, the running Gamangiri in the corner, a springboard drop kick, and then goes for a running sliced bread off the corner, but gets tossed away, and then a huge pounce from Carver, and then Carver's finisher, which is like almost like a falcon arrow into a power slam for the win.
Yeah. Okay. So is this guy going through the motions of finding a new finisher? I've said a few weeks ago, we need a
This
finisher
looks a little
class.
better than this one the other week, I think.
Still, it's like, are you going for a jackhammer, or are you going for a raging fire, or you don't know what you're going for, and then you kind of hesitated towards the end as he slammed him, but better than whatever he was doing before. And I mean, again, we can go to the drawing board, but we need a finisher class in the PC, definitely. More on that later, because I'm tired of seeing zigzags. Okay, I'm tired of seeing those. But what do you think AJ Styles' kids would have rated Sean Legacy's springboard 450? Do you think it was
That
a
was
little
pretty
crooked?
nice?
Wasn't as crooked. I love that part in the video on Raw.
Yeah.
AJ being like, "Whew, kids, what'd you think?" Yeah, Dad.
Kind of went to the side a bit there.
A little sloppy there, Dad. Tighten it up. This was a quick match. I think anything we've seen from Sean Legacy is he's one of these guys who's come into the PC and NXT because he wrestled outside of WWE. Like, it shows like he's awesome in between these in between these ropes. Whereas Carver, he's the guy who's they're trying to get over as the probably the NIL and all that stuff, or like he doesn't have necessarily the wrestling from outside. But I didn't hate this. I didn't necessarily love it, but I like the presentation of this Carver guy thus far since the rebrand of him. So
they've given him a bit more character, and I think for all his faults, this is where Booker is helping a lot, because he is kind of, you get the impression that this guy was disrespectful to the coaches, and just thinks he's better than he is and all that. Yeah. So at least he's got a bit of a character, whereas I find but as I said, I did find it like Osiris Griffin followed by Keanu Carver followed by Jasper Troy. It was okay, we're having matches of this big guy who can't do a whole lot quite yet, and these more talented smaller wrestlers working their ass out off around them, trying to make
literally this whole show.
But at least Keanu on the character side has a little bit more than these two. But yeah, I haven't been blown away so far. I think it's made me realize how actually impressive Obafemi is right from his debut, because I think it takes a lot for a lot of wrestling fans today to actually warm to a bigger guy, because we're so used to the years of just, your great Carlees and those kind of guys and your body guys that pass the airport test. But actually, when it comes to wrestling, fans of wrestling aren't overly too interested in. And I think Oba broke through that very quickly. And you realize how much more impressive he is than some of these other guys they're trying with.
Okay, Oba, definitely an exception. These guys are still so much newer. Like Carver, okay, if you give him maybe some time, we can see. I say
Carver's been there for 3 years.
Yeah, but then hasn't been on TV for a big chunk of that until now. So maybe it's like they've been in the lab cooking up something. That's what I hope. When we see someone like Jasper Troy, I'm like, what? Why? Why? At least we'll get to at least maybe they're moving away. They can cut and move on this show, but a lot of the times it's throwing people on TV and seeing, they see things that they like, and clearly they see some things out of these big guys who, again, hey, maybe they don't have a lot of the wrestling background, and the people they're fighting might not necessarily love that they got to go out there and make this other person look strong. But that's what's been in this industry for like the dawn of time. So it will be that way for like forever, essentially. Like you watch this giant guy, instantly you go, ooh, I want to see this guy fight, like shit. And that's just kind of the way it is. But I don't know. I'm interested to see if this guy can get better, this Keanu Carver, because he is kind of big. He is pretty athletic, and that pounce was pretty impressive, period. So yeah.
We go to the women's locker room where Ren Sinclair is talking all about Jacy Jayne versus Sol Ruca, which is happening later tonight. And Kendall tells her, look, you need to focus on the speed tournament because next week you have a match. And once we focus on you winning that, we can focus on me becoming women's champion again. And then Kalani Jordan walks in and she is gloating that she is the first woman to make Lola cry and tap out. And Ren goes, oh, sorry, are you talking to us? When Lola flies in with a pump kick to Kalani and everyone runs in and they're pulling apart these two.
Yes, I mean, this is going the direction we assumed it was going. But I mean, kayfabe-wise, you made the cage fighter tap out. That's a pretty, you got him. You got him there. You know?
I'd be gloating.
Yeah. It's like any American to us for the next 4 years. Yeah, well, we beat you in your own fucking game. All right, Lola, you tapped out. But then Nations underground match. Fuck that 3-on-3 bullshit.
We go to our next match. It's for the Speed Championship. For the first time ever, it's a 7-minute three-way triple threat match.
Okay, we were roasting this last week of like, okay, maybe it was me. Maybe it's just I hate this speed thing. You know, it's bad if I'm asking for the fucking Heritage Cup back. Okay, so I will say this is a fun 7-minute match. But what was I just talking about big guys who are there to beat up the little guys who can actually wrestle and make the big guy look good? And it's basically two of these young up and comers versus Jasper Troy. However, this totally goes in a different direction, hopefully for the better. But it's still, I got to reiterate how stupid it sounds to be like, for the first time ever, this match has got a 7-minute time limit. Like, what are we doing here? Come on, just let them wrestle a normal match and it would be fine. Can we just get like a shitty mid-card title that's not the North American title? Do we need the speed gimmick or do we need the Heritage Cup? Like, I don't know. It just sounds silly. Even you repeating, 7 minutes, like you're being funny, but it sounds dumb.
So, like, I mean, I'm a broken record here, but it should work if you play the gimmick. And that's been the thing with Jasper Troy is this whole time, this would have worked if he's crushing people within like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, like then it's like, oh, but I always think back to like G1 matches. Okay, they're not 7 minutes, they're 20 or 30 minutes long. But when you had the Okada Kenny Omega draw, you know, the hour long Broadway, and then they're meeting in the G1.
Yeah.
And you go, well, if they couldn't have a winner within 60 minutes, what makes you think they're going to have a winner within 30 minutes? But they wrestled such a different style in that match because there was this urgency that both of them are against the clock. And you see it in sport, don't you? You see like teams, oh shit, we're one behind. There's 3 minutes left. You're pulling your goalkeeper, you're attacking, but you're leaving your defenses open to stuff. And like, I feel that's how this should be done. And I actually think Elio and Eli have been the best at this because last week, Eli Knight especially was like climbing to the top, looking at the Titantron, seeing how much time left. But when I'm watching these matches and they start with a collar and elbow, it's like, what are you doing? Like, no, like it should be. And that for me is where the draw should be, is your high flyers who are going to try and do like a 10-minute match within 3 minutes. And then it's kind of cool because I don't like having titles that are all the same, just different tiers. I'd rather have defined rules for them. And that's why you know, I take a Heritage Cup over just a third tier title, but you've got to make the gimmick work. Otherwise, what are we doing?
Bring back the hardcore title.
I think the whole of this Jasper Troy run hasn't been working because they haven't really shown off what it is about a big man having a speed title, which should be crushing people within seconds.
He should be like, I don't even need 3 minutes. I'll kill you. And then finally, the one person can
you build it up. Suddenly someone lasts longer than 30 minutes and some 30 seconds or whatever. Yeah.
I don't know. It reminds me, didn't someone like, I know Big E Langston used to do the I got till 5 thing, but didn't someone else have the counter? Was it the Ascension?
No, I mean, we're about to get to it in What's Next. You had both Bull Dempsey and Baron Corbin.
Right.
And that built to a match between those two. But you used to have the crowd counting.
Yeah.
Because all of them would finish a match within under a minute.
That's right.
And I think, it's funny because we're talking about Bull Dempsey and Baron Corbin, and I know how much you love both of them. But at that time, it worked, didn't it?
Hey, you leave Bull Dempsey alone, all right?
It did get them over for a certain amount of time. Anyway, Jasper Troy's doing this new thing now. So he comes out with your favorite chains around his neck, but he's holding 2 as well. And this time he threw him to the ground and the whole camera shook. It was very, very scary.
Yeah, he's trying. It's kind of like like Javon Evans has the camera shake thing where he shakes the camera and then it like shatters. Like this is now he roars and then it like shakes.
Throws his chains down.
It didn't necessarily look great. I don't like.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, dudes would look at this and go, "Hell yeah!"
Fuck yeah, this guy in his t-shirt,
fucking chains. What's his gimmick again? He's
big. He's Undertaker and Booker T's picks. I don't know. Fuck. There's a big military press from Troy throwing LeFleur on top of Knight. Elio and Eli then take it turns to drop kick Troy off the apron and then both fly at him at the outside. Troy then catches Knight and throws LeFleur to the floor at the same time. They then team up and throw Jasper Troy against the ring steps and they have a look at each other. Okay, you and me, let's go. As we see 90 seconds have gone. We get a beautiful leap straight to the top turnbuckle into a moonsault from Eli Knight. This looked very impressive.
Vic was like, wow, I've never seen that before, which I'm pretty sure he has done on NXT a few times. But then Booker's like, you got to come to reality of wrestling, man.
He's I've seen it a lot. Seen it a lot.
Reality of wrestling.
Then get an avalanche twisted neck breaker from LeFleur as Knight rolls to the floor. LeFleur hits him with the moonsault to the floor, and this is where Troy wakes up and repeatedly throws LeFleur against the apron. There's a toss powerbomb to Knight onto LeFleur on the apron, and as we get back into the ring, we see Troy is favoring his shoulder from the ring step. I was actually worried that he had actually hurt himself because I didn't know if this guy had learned how to sell yet, but I'll give credit to the guy. He was selling that shoulder nicely.
Nice.
LeFleur then jumps off Knight's back for a Rana attempt, but just gets caught and thrown down. There's a huge chokeslam from Troy for a 2 count. We have 3.5 minutes left on the clock. There's a jumping knee off the top from LeFleur, a leaping Rough Rider from Knight. And then Elio goes for a dive, but Knight flies in, catching him with a flying knee. And then Knight gets thrown to the floor. And Troy starts to climb, but actually climb the top rope. LeFleur takes him down with a powerbomb, and then there's a DDT to the apron to Knight, and then a 450 onto Troy for a great near fall here. We then see 2 minutes is left, and Troy picks LeFleur off the top rope with a razor's edge attempt, which LeFleur breaks out of. Runs at him, gets caught in the black hole slam, but LeFleur lands on his feet and delivers this kind of, it's almost like the crucifix bomb, but wrapping his legs around the neck of Jasper Troy here.
Kind of like a Ricky Dragon head scissors takedown kind of thing. Yeah.
And then Eli Knight follows up with the beautiful looking moonsault onto Jasper Troy, but he bounces off of him, allowing LeFleur to make the cover and pins Jasper Troy with about 90 seconds left on the clock. and Elio LeFleur is your new Speed champion.
Yeah, Elio and Eli, two new additions to NXT in the last little while, but very impressive. Like, showing me, like, you know, they're smaller, cruiserweight, junior heavyweight kind of guys, but they can fly around that ring, and they definitely look and feel comfortable wrestling and doing all sorts of really flashy stuff. And then, like we said earlier, like, unfortunately, they got to go in there with someone who, in this match, was pretty much just playing a base, and this might be the best Jasper Troy match we've ever watched, because these two guys really did everything. I'll say the chokeslam was nice, but again, it's because the guy's selling it and making it look amazing. But yeah, best Jasper Troy match easily, because these two guys, I wish these two wrestled for more than just like 5 minutes, because Elio and Eli are really, really like fun, fast paced action, like very, very, very quick. And I'm happy that we went with Elio here. We can go into like the, you know, make the speed more of the like 205 live kind of matchup, and not so much whatever this Jasper Troy project was.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed this match, actually, and I think Jasper Troy in a weird way played his part, because every time I saw him come back from the dead, I thought he was right, just going to kill these guys and win. Yeah. So whenever the other guys came back, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we're not doing that. But I'll give him some credit here. I thought, I agree, this was his best match. A lot was down to the other two, but he did play his part there as well as a base, and that chokeslam did look nice, and he sold his shoulder well. I really hope they stick with Elio and Eli and try to put a lot behind them, try and build the character work and stuff, because this men's division, we always say, is not the greatest, and these two are fantastic. So let's try and don't just keep them in this box of speed and cruiserweight. Like, I wouldn't even mind, you know, if they announce another Dusty Classic, having these two as a team, because I think they could greatly benefit that division. And I think a Dusty Classic would actually be a great way to make some new teams, like we had back in the day with Ciampa and Gargano. They weren't a team before then, and try and do some things to maybe elevate that scene as well. But I think a lot of both guys, they've been really impressive.
These two are really impressive. Yeah, shout out Eli Knight and Elio LeFleur. If I was Eli, kayfabe, he could be pretty upset. Like, hey, I hit that moonsault and you got the pin. So I imagine we get a rematch. I don't know if Elio is necessarily a heel or anything, but he could turn heel and take the mask off and be a French debonair more than a luchador. But yeah, this is the best we're going to get out of Jasper Troy, and he just had to be there essentially in this match. So good on them. I liked the wrestling from these two especially. So I wouldn't be opposed to. I was thinking like, oh, as a tag team, they'd be pretty quick. And you know, a Dusty Classic doesn't necessarily just help create like tag teams, but it helps create other stories like rivalries and stuff. Yep. So it could be something we could bring back into it. But yeah, these two were really impressive.
We see Ethan Page with Ricky Saints backstage as Ethan's having his ankle taped up from the attack last week. And Saints was on a show called Wild Cards on CW this week. And he's like, did you see me on that? And Ricky's saying that they sent him roses because they love him so much. And Paige is saying, look, even if my ankle is broken, I'm still going to defend my title tonight. When Vanity Project walk in and say, whoa, look at this. We're all champions. The three of us are champions. We're a trifecta of champions. And Ricky says, yes, you're all champs. And in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to be 2-time champ. And whatever Myles has planned, we're going to make sure that you become the longest reigning North American champion ever.
Yeah. Are you going to watch Wild Card? I think it's a series, not like
Wild Cards. Yeah.
Wild Card. Like we saw what Trick was on a show back in the day. WWE people used to be on these types of shows like, you know, Smallville or.
Well, it's CW crossover, which we've seen a few times. I think we had Tony D'Angelo was in something and Trick was in something. And yeah. And
then we had Colonel Custard. Can't forget about Colonel Custard.
Was that the NASCAR guy?
I think they just happen to air the race, but still counts, you know, in CW lore.
Cole Custer. Cold
Colonel
custard.
Yeah.
There we
Cold
go.
custard. Oh, right. Yeah. So wild card.
You like
I
cold
like
custard?
Sorry?
Do you like cold custard, or does it need to be heated for you?
No,
or are
I
you
like
not a custard guy?
No, I am Portuguese. The custard tarts,
good.
baby. Come on. Tim Hortons, new Donatas. You gotta try them.
How do you describe custard to someone who doesn't know what custard is?
It's like sweet pudding type thing, like kind of liquidy, kind of not. I don't know. It's nice.
Thick yellow cream.
Yeah, egg cream stuff. I don't know. How do you describe CW wildcards to people?
I describe it as a spirited con woman and a demoted by the book detective who are given the chance to redeem themselves. The catch, they must find a way to work together, each using their unique skills to solve crimes.
Nice. You gonna watch it?
I mean, the last episode has an 8.5 rating on IMDb. And
with Ricky?
That's the one with Ricky, I think.
Hey, maybe Ricky's got a future, and like he's pretty charismatic. He would be someone who could go into like acting, right?
Oh, I could see it.
No problem, right? Like that'd be great. You know, this show is I don't watch a lot of these like cop shows because there seems like there's like a million of them. Like what's the one I keep seeing the ads for? Fuck, I can't even remember what it is. But your guy from your boy from Buffy, what's his name? Angel?
Oh, yeah, David Boreanaz, Bones.
David Boreanaz, the Boreanaz Lights. He is cast as in the new like remake of the Rockford Files, which is like an old like PR kind of cop show kind of thing. So I thought about you the other day. I'm like, that guy's he's gonna get famous again because I know you had Buffy, Bones, and then now this. But these cop shows.
Okay, well maybe you want to give it a go. I looked up the episode Ricky's in has a 7.2 rating. Season 3, episode 4, I believe. Right. He plays a character called Atlas, and one of the reviews says, "Genuinely surprised at the good writing for a Canadian show."
Oh, a Canadian show. Hey, maybe it's filmed in Vancouver, or I mean, it could be up here, right? I don't know. Yeah. They film a lot of stuff up here, but
oh yeah.
I don't know. Will Trent, that was the name of the show. I keep seeing ads.
Oh, Will Trent. Yeah.
I'm sure it's good. I've seen too many ads for it. I'm like, I don't want to watch it just out of spite. But do you do that? You see too many ads. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to buy your product. I'm going to go out of my way to make sure.
Yeah. We have a what did they call this? NXT
Chronicle.
For Joe Hendry. This was a two-parter, and
this was pretty good. You know what? Yeah. Like this is it shows you who Joe Hendry is, especially if maybe you weren't familiar of a lot of the stuff beforehand.
So kind of similar to like we used to have the prime targets, but we had one of these chronicles for Lola Vice when she was going to challenge Jacy Jayne, and it did a great job with like, you know, humanizing them and actually really making you root for them watching this.
I'd say that this is exactly what this was for, and I'd say it was his success. Like it definitely Joe's good. Joe's a good dude.
So Joe says, what people think was an overnight success took me years to get to. Ricky may think I'm a meme, but I'm more than that. He wanted to be I wanted to be a WWE superstar, but didn't know how to get there. So I did everything: theater, music, judo. And on New Year's Eve 2013, age 24, I decided to be a wrestler. And I met Robbie Brookside in Glasgow, got a tryout within a year, but I wasn't ready yet, as I didn't fully believe in Joe Hendry. So I then took up amateur wrestling. And even though I took it up at a late stage and wasn't experienced with my judo background, I was able to win 2 championships. And then I started doing musical parodies. I'd do anything to generate buzz, and I'd wrestle huge names all over Europe. He wrestled Cody and Drew and Kurt Angle. I think this might have been What Culture Wrestling, if I remember right.
Well, it shows like clips of
what's the ICW as well.
The ICW, and especially the Drew. And honestly, like that's definitely where I'd say it's that. Is it a parody, right? That he did that like definitely got his name brought up in a lot of stuff online. So like I'm glad that they did show that one clip where he's wearing the kilt and everything, right? Yeah. So Like, I think that one is still today, like, shared, like, someone like, oh, this is his best one. And that's definitely, I would say, like, oh, look, this guy's doing musical parodies. And it's funny that it's nice that they mentioned that in this.
He says, I was recording my own theme song and streaming and basically using everything he learned in his marketing degree to market himself. And then he finally made it to America and the world shuts down, alluding to the pandemic 2020. And he says, I had two choices, give up or keep believing. So I dyed my hair blonde and bulked up. And I used the last of my savings to buy a visa to sign with TNA. Finally, I believed in Joe Hendry and need everyone else to.
Of course, TNA didn't give you a fucking visa, of course. This makes me want to root for this guy. Yeah, he literally is a broke indie wrestler during a time we all were going through it during the pandemic. And instead of giving up, he's like, no, I'm going to bet on myself a little bit. And like, fuck, I guess it worked. But totally makes sense, him mentioning the like marketing and stuff like that. Like, again, he's been someone who, the reason Ricky called him a meme is because he has been very smart with his like online presence. And I'd say, you know, some wrestlers looked up to Zack Ryder all these years ago of being like the pioneer of like social media and wrestling and stuff. But this guy took it to an even other level, even before coming to WWE. So
I think there's like not just wrestlers, but obviously wrestlers, but other people within the arts. It's like just trying to keep on developing your skills in so many different areas. Like you see it with acting. There was a guy who was a pretty good actor who I knew from my drama school, and he spoke ancient Greek. He was like a language buff. He just kept on learning all these different languages. And there was a worldwide touring production of one of the Greek tragedies that required an actor to speak ancient Greek. There's no one else. He got the part, you know, like it's that kind of thing. And him being here, like, yeah, I wanted to be a wrestler, but I used my marketing degree. And I was like, oh, I'm also musical. So let's start writing songs. And oh, that's getting me over. So what if I dye my hair? Like it's all these little things that when you think of the Joe Hendry gimmick, it is this big burly blonde bloke singing songs, and that's what gets you to remember him. And I think a lot of people can. I think that's why I sometimes get a lot like negative on the acting of good wrestlers, because you know, like you look at a Will Ospreay and he just leveled up from his promos and stuff. Was always a fantastic wrestler. But when I see people in like an NXT system who are not developing, I'm like, why aren't you going that extra mile? Like you can wrestle, you can do a flip, whoop-de-doo, but when it comes to you on the mic, it's abysmal. And there's so many wrestlers who've gone through NXT like that. And I just think people need to think, and not just in wrestling, but any sort of art form, like what can I do to make me different from everyone else? And how can I use these other things I've learned and other skills to better myself?
I thought this video was great, showing like, again, a lot of the older stuff, a lot of these old clips and pictures and videos of him just trying it and saying like, I'm not over it was Stone Cold, like to be an overnight success. Yeah. It takes like, 10.
Bryan Cranston says that as well. It's like it took him 30 years to become an overnight success with Breaking Bad. And
hey, day one, he voiced bad guys in Power Rangers. Oh, yeah. So he was a success to me in day one. But yeah, I thought this was really good. Like I know in the last few months, Joe, even way before even thinking that he would win this title, but like the character and the whole gimmick the past few months, not even just last month, past months, has been beaten to death. It's been like, oh, he's the guy you say his name and all that stuff. But at least something like this is giving a chance to not to only tell his story, but help him evolve as well. So I did think these were really good.
This was followed by an NXT Origins. We had one a couple of weeks ago about Finn Balor. This time was about Damian Priest, and kind of him just talking about how very similar to Balor. Like I was wrestling elsewhere. I'd been wrestling for a while, but it wasn't until it came to NXT that I really sort of found out my character and learned the other side of wrestling, the media side and all that. And then it obviously builds up to him winning the title at WrestleMania.
I mean, yeah, this guy, maybe not so similar to Finn. Finn is like, hey, I was really good, and then I came to WWE and I learned how to look at hard cam. But this one is like Punishment Martinez was decent on the indies and people liked him, whatever. But when he came to NXT, he definitely like found his groove, which I don't know if he's found his groove currently in 2026, Damian Priest. But you see the clips of him with Bad Bunny and everything. Like, yeah, dude, this is a success story for sure. Like, I loved that main event with him and Bad Bunny. Like, piece of Puerto Rico history right there. To be frank, like that's gonna go down in history. But it showed clips of Bad Bunny. But you know what this video was really missing was clips of him in the hot tub.
Yeah, that's true. He did say he became a rock star, but yeah, we didn't.
All you needed was that clip to make you go, yeah, you winning the title in the hot tub. Bring that back in wrestling.
We go forward to DarkState backstage, and they're so mad they're throwing pipes everywhere.
Pipes? Oh no, not poles and
not the poles and the pipes.
It's always pipes.
Lola Vice is pissed off, and she goes into Robert Stone's office, and she says, Kalani thinks she can hang in my element. She starts yelling in Spanish, and like many people during the Super Bowl, Robert Stone was like, hey, English, please. And she asked for an underground match at Vengeance Day, as we thought. So Kalani, Jordan, Lola Vice, NXT Underground.
Lola was looking like a Bond girl or like Austin Powers like villain here with this like leather zip thing. But I'm stoked to hear about this underground. Like, I think that was what we saw leading to, and like she's gonna kill Kalani in this thing.
Yeah,
she's gonna get her win back.
Absolutely,
she's gonna get a win back in this. But I'm looking forward to this. Like that's something we kind of forgot about, of like they haven't done in a while, which is good. Don't always do it, but it's become her like feature, her focus. Yeah. So I'm happy that we're going to this. It made sense. We saw it coming the second Kalani started attacking the hand and all this, and I think this is the right direction.
We go to our next match, the Women's Championship match. It is Jacy Jayne taking on Sol Ruca. Finally.
Are you ready? It finally happened, everybody. It finally happened.
They're in the ring. The bell's about to ring when Zaria spears Sol Ruca, picks her up, hits a huge F5, and then the ref is like, hey, Sol, you just got beaten up there. Do you still want to wrestle the match? And she's like, yeah. The bell rings. We get the rolling encore. 1, 2, 3. Jacy Jayne retains. And after the match, Zaria picks up Sol once again and hits the F5 onto the announce table.
And then yells, snatch that Sol, bitch. As the crowd chants Zaria.
Yeah.
In the Performance Center. It finally happened. Okay. Feels like years. Feels like months that we've been saying, when will Zaruka implode? But pour one out for Zaruka. Did they make Zaruka shirts? I think so. Like Y2AJ. Get them while you can, because you'll never get one again. Okay. Like, the one thing I didn't like is she hits her with not one, but 2 of her finishing moves. And so Ruca just gets up and goes, yeah, ring the bell. It's like, what? No, she shouldn't be. It's just funny. Like how you just described it there is exactly what happened. And okay.
It's such a wrestling thing though, isn't it? It's like, just say no. Like, sorry,
no.
Actually, this is the main title. Should we just close the show?
I worked hard to get here.
Yeah, can you give me 5?
Like imagine at the Olympics, it's like, all right, you ready to do your big snowboard jump? Yeah, hold on. And then you trip and you like really hurt your leg. And it's like, well, I guess you can't. I guess it's now or never. So maybe we are wrong. Maybe it's like, no, you got to do this fucking match now or never, or else you forfeit. So it's another wrestling trope, I guess. It was just funny because it happened finally, and she gets up. It's like, she's like, are you sure you want to continue? It's just like, nah, I could do this all day. It's like, you just got taken out. You shouldn't be. If anything, it should have happened maybe during the match. I don't know. I liked it. The crowd chanting Zaria is hilarious. And what's even funny is jumping ahead. Like, I think this should go in a direction, totally go in one direction that sets up something for like down the line. But I don't know. I liked it, but all these weeks, months, like, is this how we expected this big moment to happen?
I feel a little mixed about it.
Yeah.
Because I feel I kind of, when I saw that Paige and Borne were closing the show, that made me go, oh, okay, they're not going to do the turn this week, because it feels like it should be a show closer moment. So I like that they kind of caught me off guard with it. And I kind of liked, normally you'd expect this kind of thing to be during the match or after the match, but to have it right at the beginning was a bit of a shocker. So I like that. For something that's been building since the week they first got put together, that they've been teasing them breaking up, it did catch me off guard. But then it just felt also, all these months of building for this, it felt a little anticlimactic once it did actually happen.
Yeah, I did feel that way too. Like, I have mixed things. It's like, okay, finally we can got this out of the way and go forward. But that's how you. Oh, okay. I just felt that way. So I'm kind of glad you said that, because I just didn't want to be a negative Nancy and be like, oh,
no, this wasn't the Festival of Friendship, right? Like,
it wasn't. And
I think I feel we maybe shouldn't have done because we've done the will they won't they so long. And they had, when was it, Rhea told them to, like, come on, stop fucking around, like, be friends. And I think we should have then had them pretty smooth sailing from then until this moment, rather than, they just made up last week and now it's happened. It did catch me off guard, but I didn't think it was executed too well. And I find this a lot of the time in wrestling. It's like, it's really slow paced storytelling. It's final season of Game of Thrones, and then it's shit, let's rush to the end. And it's like, wait, you've been building it for 6 months, and then you've told, like, the end in like 30 seconds. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of glad you say that too, because I watched it, was like, oh, what? That's how. Okay. Like, I'm happy we got this direction. I can't wait for this match, this feud to continue and start and get all the stories and hopefully good stuff. But I'll just be honest with you, I was maybe a little let down on the execution of it. But jumping ahead, this should somehow lead to Zaria as champion, stealing the title here somehow, some way, and then Soul Redemption, Stand and Deliver, going for Zaria. Like, that's what I would say. I mean, Vengeance Day is in a few weeks. I wonder if they rush that and just do that, but I would do it Stand and Deliver, and that's when you crown Soul as champion here. But it was funny seeing Jacy, Jayne, and the Toxic Ladies. Sorry, these wrong group, Fatal Ladies.
Yeah.
Act all like shocked, like, oh,
laughing
shit.
at it. I do enjoy that when heels are like laughing at a turn or whatever.
Instead, like Jade just leaving.
Yeah. let's jump ahead, as you mentioned it. So later in the show, Zaria tells Fatal Influence that they owe her and that she wants a title match. And Jacy goes, what? The bell rung and I won. Like, what's there to thank you for? And Zaria says, I want a match next week, or I'll do to you what I did to Soul. So, and the match is confirmed. It's this awkward thing where, it makes a whole lot of sense for, flip the title onto Zaria, and you can even have it like, I think, didn't we do that with the Gargano Ciampa Aleister Black thing, where in trying to get Zaria back, you accidentally have her win the title.
Right.
I could totally see them doing that. But there's also talks of Soul Ruca moving up very soon, that they're working on new music for her, and that, like, it's another one of those NXT things where you have her win the title at Stand and Deliver and then vacate it or lose it right after. Or
I could see her being Raw after Mania debut for sure. Soul Ruca. So I'm not necessarily sure if she's going to stick around after that here on NXT.
But do you have it for the title then?
Maybe that's why we're rushing this now and going to Vengeance Day instead of Stand and Deliver. I don't know. We'll have to see. But
so Zol and Zaria at Vengeance Day.
Yeah.
And then drop it back at Stand and Deliver?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, maybe Soul doesn't wrestle. I couldn't see Soul leaving NXT before WrestleMania. Like, it's too late now.
No.
You wouldn't bring people now. So
it's just, you would think you'd peak at Stand and Deliver, right?
Yeah,
With the big babyface win, but maybe not.
Zaria, they could have a match and then it's, Zaria retains and then you continue all the way to Stand and Deliver. That's something you could easily do. But yeah, it makes, I would much rather that. The way you described the Aleister Black thing, it's like, yeah, he inadvertently helped Ciampa win the title and then they feuded over the thing. It's just Jacy Jayne here is kind of like left out in the wind and you would imagine gets called up post Mania. But
you would hope so, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't necessarily love the execution, but I am looking forward to the Ruca feud. So let's hope for the best.
Tatum Paxley comes out. She's in the crowd. She says, "My entire life, I've twisted myself in knots trying to find love. If I could be perfect, maybe someone would stay, but no one did. But in that loneliness, I decided to listen to all of you." Talking about the crowd. She says, "You didn't want a watered down Tatum Paxley. You wanted me. Because of you, I have felt real love for the first time in my life. You've accepted every weird part of me. That's why when I beat Izzy Dame and hold the North American Championship, it won't just be mine. It will be ours. And I'm begging you, Izzy, I just want one conversation with you." And Izzy comes out and says, "Not even your dreams are enough because even at your core, you'll never be enough." And then it's kind of weird. The lights just go out and Blake Monroe's music starts.
So they like start fighting and then, yeah. I didn't care for this too much. It was weird that Tatum was in the crowd because you're very zoomed in on all these people. It's like if I was there, I'd be like, why are you
doing hands?
This one guy's like, "I love you." It's like,
one guy's filming her ass. It's
it was weird. I don't like this feud. I like Tatum, I really do. I just don't care for this feud too much. And I thought someone was coming out. Like, I'm not okay. I didn't think Undertaker or Sabu or anything was coming out, or Butcher and the Blade or whoever. But it was like, why did the lights go out? And then all of a sudden it just cuts to the next segment. They were like, you know what? Fuck this. We're moving on. So, 2K apparently has this new like wrap it up, like go home feature that like if you click on your thing, it kind of like symbols like the AI to finish the match quicker.
Right.
For some reason I was reading about in the new 2K game. So maybe that's just what happened here on NXT.
You just recreate the final match of All In over and over again.
It's like, hey, we got 90 seconds. So
I hope the ref is like telling him in the match, like
talking in the earpiece. Yeah, exactly. I didn't understand why we went from this segment into the Blake thing, but I was okay with it, I guess.
It was a little odd.
Yeah.
So we go to our next match. It is a women's speed tournament first round match. Thea Hale taking on Blake Monroe, the huge rematch from the controversial match where Thea Hale won cleanly. I don't know why so controversial.
Kayfabe wise,
coffin drop and wins the match.
Kayfabe wise, she won clean.
Yeah.
But so controversial.
So Monroe is on the outside and she's pulling at Thea's hair when the ref gets distracted and what's her name? Jada Parker runs in, hits Monroe with the hypnotic, rolls Blake in, and then Thea hits a rolling neck breaker for the win in very quick fashion. And Thea Hale progresses to the next round where she'll face the winner of Ren Sinclair or Nikita Lyons.
Okay, did we not have like a distraction earlier? Was that?
We had a lot of matches on this show. Like I when I was writing down the rundown earlier today, I was like, wow, there's 7 matches tonight. And obviously they had a lot of that were just very quick. Like, it felt weird, this show, because as I mentioned earlier, it had the 3 matches in a row, which were these like David versus Goliath matches. And then you had this and the Sol Ruca match, which was like over in seconds due to interference.
Yeah. This was weird. Like, I know we're furthering the Blake Monroe, Jada Parker thing and the speed, whatever. I guess Thea should just win the speed thing. Who's the speed champion? Fallon?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really like this. I don't know. Blake Monroe, I still think we can turn it around and she'll be a big star, but her NXT run, I wouldn't say is very good so far here.
I always like when you have one of these stories where there's a like underdog who has someone's number. So I kind of like that Thea is 2-0 on Blake right now, but I'm hoping this Blake and Jada feud can bring something out of Monroe that we haven't necessarily seen yet.
Yeah.
We move on. We get another Joe Hendry chronicle. He says, when I made it to TNA, I started from the bottom again, worked my way into title contention, and then saw on TikTok that my song was blowing up. So worked out, I like this word, I worked out using my education.
Kids, use your education.
I'm going to use my education today. He worked out how to get his song in the charts, and it actually became #1. And then I made it to NXT, and my debut became the most viewed wrestling thing on X that whole year. I won the TNA title. I was in the Royal Rumble match. I was at WrestleMania. And although WrestleMania was a thrill, my main objective was NXT. And it shows a video of him from 2013 saying that all paths lead to the Performance Center. I am the NXT champion. I believe in Joe Hendry. And then it cuts back to him in 2013 saying, if you think this kid from Scotland may have something, give him an opportunity because he may just be the next WWE superstar.
Yeah, again, this is just part 2 of this video. Like, really great, like, summing up and showcasing his entire, like, wrestling in a bit of a snapshot of, like, hey, this is who I am and stuff you may not have known. Now, I think back to, obviously, only a few years ago, that whole chart topping thing. Like, it's hilarious, like, how he figured that out. Okay, like, pretty sure it's iTunes charts or the Billboard of, like, the way things work now with songs and stuff. Like, obviously, you know, no one's going out and buying CDs and stuff, but he was smart enough to figure out how to get that. And again, TikTok, using social media to your advantage here. It is quite interesting. It's kind of funny that they showed all this stuff that had nothing to do with WWE. It's just, hey, I got popular before WWE, and then they capitalized by having me on TV a bunch, and then TNA didn't capitalize right away until it was maybe a little too late, but they did. They did.
I mean, it's just awesome that everything's filmed now, right? Like, so you can find, I'm sure there's so many wrestlers you can do this with where you find their tryout. Like, we had it often with, you know, people being the jobber cops way back when, Punk being in the car with Cena in Chicago, that kind of thing. But this for a video package worked so well with him saying way back before he was anybody in 2013 that he wants to go to NXT and he will be a WWE superstar.
I think this video was needed. Now, I know in the last few weeks we've been like, okay, Joe Hendry is champion, this and that, but I think this was needed to help maybe get back on track of like, hey, you should like this guy. we should. He's our baby face. I don't know. After watching this, does Ricky still beat him at Vengeance Day?
Yeah.
I think Joe should be on the main roster personally at this point too. So maybe he does lose. I don't know.
We'll see. We go to our next match. Oh, are you ready? Chase U implodes. Uriah Connors, Kale.
Okay.
Bronson.
Most people are gonna be like, "Oh, Ruca," but no, Chase U like 3.0 or whatever this is. they're imploding because they're facing each other here tonight. Okay,
we come back from the break and the match starts right away. A pretty quick start between the two. We get a blockbuster from Dixon followed by a Rana. Kale goes for a plancher, but Connors rolls back into the ring, goes for a tope, but eats a punch to the face. Kale then goes for this like awkward looking top rope splash. I hate when people do a jump off the top rope knowing that they're going to get hit by something. Does that make sense? Like suddenly they just do the pencil drop and you go, well,
right.
What were you going for here? But yes, Connors gets the knees up and rolls Dixon up for a 2. Connors then comes back with a crazy, like almost Osprey-esque hook kick, which looked great. There's then a spin-out powerbomb from Dixon for a 2. A stunner from Connors, followed by a springboard stunner from Connors, but only a 2. Dixon hits a beautiful looking Fosbury flop to the floor and a big kick of his own, goes for a moonsault, but eats a boot to the face. And then Uriah Connors follows up with like a running shining wizard, like flying knee to the head, and picks up the win.
Connors beating his old buddy Kale here. He had Andre Chase was in his corner, and then you had the birthright.
Yes,
Stacks, Ariana. Wow, Lexus King with that outfit. The cowboy hat, the cowboy shirt, and this like cane that he's been using. That was quite a cowboy. Lexus King looked like Brooks and Dunn here tonight. Like he looked like a country music superstar. Billy Ray Cyrus, Lexus King. I thought Connors looked good with that knee, especially at the end. I think Kale Dixon's been someone. I think both these guys, the wrestling has been impressive from what we've seen. It's just they came in at a weird like chase you kind of storyline. I loved Vic Joseph arguing with Booker T on commentary. Booker is like, hey, like Chase U isn't a real university. And they're talking about how Connors went to Michigan. He's asking, did he go to Michigan? And Vic is like, no, I'm talking about Chase University. And he's like, well, that's a downgrade from any like real university. And then Booker's getting angry and says, like, come on, what has Andre Chase even done? Name me one champion that Andre Chase has produced. And Vic is like, Thea Hale. And then he's like, well, wait, no, that didn't count because like she held the title for like a second. And my brain went to, wait, is he referring to, he's like, I can name a champion, but we don't want to talk about them because they don't work here anymore. Because didn't Chase U actually win gold? Like all the way back. So yeah, I think that's what he was talking about.
They've won multiple titles. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they won like twice. So I'm like, I think that's who he's talking about here. But anyways, I like Kale Dixon. I don't know where we go with this dude, but it's Connors who I guess the focus here with being with the Nepo baby stable. So we shall see. I just don't like Kale's gear. That like Zack Ryder,
Nikos
Ricos gear here. It's like, man, just wear long boys, I guess. But
wow, Nikos Ricos. That's
we haven't said that one in a while.
If you know, you know.
He's not quite Nikos Ricos. I was thinking about. He's not quite. He's more Zack Ryder, but still.
Yeah, like early Zack Ryder.
Yeah, no one can be Nikos Ricos.
Okay, very. Yeah. Oh my god. I'm looking for. Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at this. This is just horrendous.
The best gear in NXT history, Nikos Ricos. So Kale Dixon ain't got nothing to worry about that. Oh my god, it's the worst.
It's the fact that like, so it's one sleeve leg, one sleeve arm, but like opposite sides of the body.
We're popping a lot of old school upNXT listeners right now. We've been doing this show for many years.
Where are you?
Yeah, we can call out the old school upNXT listeners, but to the new ones,
Paul from New Jersey. Who else is there? Yeah.
Give a search of Nikos Ricos NXT and just look at this wrestler's gear. I'm pretty sure we have gone back and forth with him on socials back in the day because we were very.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So Kale Dixon should get a top just like Nikos Ricos.
Yeah.
And then match. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I kind of felt this match very similar to how I feel about their tag matches where they don't get a whole lot of time, but they managed to fit a lot in and enough to impress. And I thought both did. I thought Connors looked meaner, which was good. Like he had wrestled with a bit more of an edge.
Yeah.
I actually this was the first time watching him where I did see a bit of David in him as well, I thought. And Dixon, apart from that splash off the top rope, I thought was pretty impressive with some of his stuff as well. So I hope they don't give up on Dixon as well, and he can have a bit of a story and a character shift moving forwards as well, because both these guys are pretty decent.
Yeah, I think just character change needs to happen with, obviously it's happening with Uriah with the Nepo babies, but same thing with Kale. Like move away from Uriah and Chase and go find something else, because I think we shouldn't just give up on him either, because he's actually, Booker was pretty high on him at the end of this match, I thought too. But it was really cool. I love anyone who does a Shining Wizard knee thing, I'm in. You're good.
We see Vanity Project with Ricky Saints, and they're all dressed up for a night out, and they say, "Whoa, Ricky!"
Are they wear these same like romper type things every week, but yeah.
They're like, "Whoa, Ricky, you had an Emmy-winning appearance in Wild Cards this week. Just everyone watching Wild Cards. Ricky says that Joe is going to be having a concert soon. So next week, we are having an absolute experience. And like, they go like last week we helped Ego. So maybe next time, kind of hinting that they're going to help out Ricky win the NXT championship.
Yeah. I like these guys saying that we got the belts tonight. We're going to take them out. we're going to the clubs.
Yeah.
with the title belts, which is great. But yeah.
We then Hank and Tank walk in and they're all covered in grime and they smell like shit and fuel and stuff. And they say they've been doing some mechanic work when Shiloh Hill walks in holding a steering wheel. And Brad Baylor goes, wait, I know that steering wheel. That's mine. I really couldn't understand what Shiloh was saying here. He was kind of garbling his words quite a bit. But they all start fighting. And we're going to get a 6-man tag next week.
I loved... I hated Shiloh Hill and Hank and Tank here, unfortunately for Hank and Tank. I thought this was really silly. Wrestling, I can definitely stretch my imagination, but to straight up say, yeah, we took apart your car to like this like 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Man, that's just not nice.
Yeah, back in the day, you just shit in their bag, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
What are we doing now? Like
taking apart, that's dangerous. You want this man to die? You want these kids to die? Come on. Terrible.
Parking was already dangerous enough.
I mean, they said they were going out, so maybe they were just being safe, don't drive and celebrate at the same time. But it was Jackson Drake, who, again, I call these Vanity Project dudes are the Gen Z like dickheads, and I think they play it really well. They were like, oh, Ricky, we're gonna be there when you win, and we're gonna pregame 100%, pregame. I'm like, yeah, these are literally what we hear these people in the wild exist. So I think I don't know if they're playing a character, to be honest. That's how good they are at this shitty Gen Z gimmick. But I do not like Shiloh Hill, and now he's just the third Hank and Tank. It's Hank, Tank, and Shank here essentially. So whatever. So I imagine Hank and Tank versus Vanity Project is at Vengeance Day, right? For the tag titles.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Yeah.
They had a good match the other week. So yeah, but next week we've got the 6-man. We see Robert Stone, who they kind of had him this week, which they didn't really do with Ava, but instead of just showing the match graphics, he was there announcing what the matches are going to be. So we've got Zaria versus Jacy for the NXT Women's Championship, Vanity Project versus Hank and Tank and Shiloh, an absolute experience with Ricky Saints, and Izzy wants to have a sit down with Tatum. She comes in to talk to Stone, says, I want to sit down and chat with Tatum, but no physicality or the match at Vengeance Day is off. So we're getting a face-to-face as well.
Okay, yeah. Not the biggest show, but so it's Vengeance Day is next weekend, right? So this would be the one, or wait, no, there's still 2 weeks.
No, I think it's 2 weeks till Vengeance Day. I think
NXT Vengeance Day. Let's see.
But next week is the big Zaria
March 7th
match.
So that is only one more week, right?
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So we have. I'm assuming if they said Joe Hendry's going to sing, then isn't he going to sing next week? Then wouldn't it be? Right.
Or maybe was he saying he does these concerts, so I'm going to do this?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe that was it.
Well, we'll see. So yeah, next week is the final one before Vengeance Day, which is on the Saturday. Right. And heads up, we won't be doing a show Saturday night, but we will be doing a review the following day. So
yes. Yeah. We go to our main event, Ethan Page versus Myles Borne for the NXT North American Championship. As Mike Rome is doing the ring announcement, Page demands that he calls him the greatest North American champion of all time. And if Ethan Page wins this match, he will overtake Obafemi's record as champion. Myles comes in hot with a load of European uppercuts. We hear from commentary that Borne's mum is there in the crowd, who recently just beat cancer. So congratulations to her. I think they were really tipping you off who's potentially going to win this.
That would real suck if they're like, Mom, come to this show, and then Ethan wins. I mean, they've done it, I guess.
I was going to say Sean and Bulldog. in the UK.
Right.
That was pretty awful. But yes, Myles is working away at the injured ankle of Paige. Paige fights back with a swinging neck breaker, and then Myles hits an Olympic slam. They start fighting on the outside, and an Ego's Edge is delivered to Myles onto the announce table. We come back from the break, and Paige is in control. Myles fights back with some more uppercuts and a nice-looking fisherman suplex for a 2 count, followed by a jackknife cover for a 2. There's then a big roundhouse from Ethan, which allows him to come back, and it hits the Ego's Edge in the ring, but Myles kicks out. They're then fighting on the top turnbuckle. There's a superplex from Paige. They start trading blows. There's a throat chop from Paige. And then the Ego Breaker. I do like that name. The
Confidence breaker.
The Confidence Breaker. Right, yes. But then Borne comes back with the Borne again, the zigzag. And this is where Vanity Project run out. Brad and Ricky are distracting the ref as Jackson Drake smacks Myles in the head with the Evolve Championship. Ethan Page goes to the pin. 1, 2, but there's a kick out. Now Hank, Tank, and Shiloh run out as refs distracted again. Ricky's on the top turnbuckle, but Joe Hendry runs out, pulls him off. But we see that Ricky being on top has kind of loosened the turnbuckle pad. There's then an Ego's Edge attempt, which is blocked. Page goes for the twisted grin and gets pushed into the turnbuckle, which is now exposed. He bounces his head off of it, and Borne hits the Borne again and is your new NXT North American champion.
I'm really happy with the results. I think Myles Borne kind of needed this. I know Ethan Page really had a great run with this North American title. Them referencing the Oba Femi, I think, back also beating the Wesley kind of run there as well. Like, great run. Even to making the strap the Canadian flag. I mean, that's epic. I need a title with one of those straps. It looks awesome. I didn't really love the match, to be honest. The finish was all over the place. Like, how many matches do we have? 7? I feel like more than half of them had fuckery finishes or something happening in it. But again, it's wrestling and it's NXT. But I don't know. I didn't necessarily feel that this was what I maybe was going into. There were some cool wrestling moves, this and that. I mentioned earlier, I hate the zigzag. I think now, after years of other wrestlers doing it, I gave Ziggler a pass because we just wanted him to win and be successful and champion, and that never happened. Now I just hate that move so much. I cannot. It's up there with the Playmaker or whatever. Like, it's terrible. And I think when someone like this guy makes it look like it's the other person slamming you down, and I'm just like, this. I don't. That's just definitely nitpicking. But I didn't love this match. I'm happy for Myles because I think going forward this can help, take him to maybe a next level that we've kind of been waiting to see. So I am still happy with this outcome, but I liked his Oba match better than the one with Ethan, and I've loved a lot of the other Ethan stuff recently, more so than this. But yeah.
I liked it more than you, for sure. I didn't love the match, but I did think Myles has come a long way. And I think he looked a bit more ready for this position this time round than he did when he was against Oba. I've liked his promos and just attitude the last couple of weeks. I know he's still he does the I want to prove I'm more than just the deaf guy, but also is reminding you that he's deaf, which is it, but it's a lot more played down, and I think he's had more of an edge. And it was very convoluted at the end, but I did like the near fall with the title shot. I thought that was a good kick out spot there. Part of me just wanted to see Ethan Page break this record because I think he's had a fantastic run.
True.
But I am curious what's next for him because, does he go back in they've been doing this Pally thing with Ricky Saints? Is that a way to get him involved? Maybe do we have some sort of 3-way potentially for the title, or do we think about moving him up now? Yeah,
earlier when Ricky was talking to Ethan Page about his TV show, Ethan was like, "Oh yeah, of course I watched it." Are we going towards these two? Like, Ethan as a babyface though seems weird, right? Like he's done so many dastardly things to get to this kind of level. Ethan is completely leveled up. You know, I said Sol Ruca should be a Raw After Mania type debut. I think Ethan Page interrupting like a CM Punk or someone really would, you know, be a shot in the arm. Like him cutting a promo, like, you know, sizing someone notably popular on the main roster on his debut could instantly put him into that like upper echelon main event roster situation. So I think we'll lose him post Mania, but I don't know, like him losing here, what is, if we're not going to have him beef with Ricky for Stand and Deliver, then I'm not sure what we do with Ethan Page here in NXT. Booker T in this match, both Booker and Vic are like, yo, this guy's done everything in this like show, like pretty much like, why is he still here kind of thing. So
it's definitely NXT's needed him more than he's needed NXT, right? And there's only so much longer you can hold that off. Like I think he's proven everything he's given, it works. And I love the idea of him and Punk. Like you give him a meaningful feud right away, and maybe if, you know, Roman wins the championship at Mania and Punk's cutting his, you know, we've seen it before, like where he goes, I may have lost, but I'm still best in the world. And I'm still going to fight. And then you have Ethan Page come and just obliterate him. Like would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do, because he's totally stepped up. Like I think when he first came in NXT, like we know we've seen his stuff before, obviously even the Ontario scene and stuff, but since the North American, like something has clicked even before winning this title, like something has clicked in the last year where it's like, oh, this is the presentation that we loved you before, and now like could take you even to bigger heights. So I don't know if Ricky versus Ethan is necessarily the big Stand and Deliver match. What is, if it's not that? Like, is Joe Hendry still involved? You said a 3-way. Like, I'm not quite sure, but I think at least we're moving things around, trying Myles again, trying to put him into that, like, you know, he's a champion now, so let's, you know, have open challenges and do what you're supposed to do with this title and take it on. So I don't know. I'm hoping this is a good direction with the men's division. Hope we need anything we can take that is good in this division. So
it's starting to get there, I think. Big Time Baxter in the chat also says last 4 weeks probably the best presentation of the division after losing Obertrick and Javon. It's definitely like slowly but surely. I think it's getting there.
Sure, it'll take a while. It'll take a while for sure. I mean, Vengeance Day being announced a whole month later than it usually is, and it's in the PC, and still not having a Stand and Deliver announced shows you like they're maybe questioning some things. They may be worried, like, are we in over our head with some of these things? We lost a lot of people on this show. So yeah, like we said weeks and weeks ago, like this is a rebuilding phase, and there's going to be some rough patches for sure, but hopefully we can find some diamonds in the rough. Like I didn't hate this episode by any means. There's some stuff on it I didn't like, don't get me wrong, but at least there's stuff, positive stuff. Okay, Lola Kalani underground match, that should be great. Joe and Ricky, I think next week will really amp up what this feud is, but I really like the Joe videos from this week. It really helped this character and this story. And then plus Vanity Project, who I think maybe me and you are, I don't know, I'm seeing maybe more so negativity towards these people. Like people don't like these annoying Gen Z kids, but so far they've been really entertaining.
You're not meant to, are you? I
mean,
you're
supposed to hate
bell to bell, they've been great. And I think, I mean, this is a bigger discussion, but it's so hard in wrestling because there's to be a like true heel, you know, there's the cool heels and then there's go away heat. And there's this line in the middle that very few people get. And for me, I think they're that line in the middle right now because they're so obnoxious. Like Brad Baylor's face, especially. You just want to punch it, don't you? It's just so irritating. Like I would absolutely hate these guys. If I'm working the bar and these three guys walk in, I'd be like, oh, but that's exactly what they should be. And I think they're doing it great.
Someone in the chat earlier tonight, I see you, Donald Navir says, Goodwill Hunting winning the tag titles was pretty nice to see.
Yeah.
Matt Damon. There you go. Topsy-turvy NXT. We got one more week, and then a week after that, it is Vengeance Day. So next week, same time, we'll be here right after NXT on Post Wrestling. We'll talk all about next week's episode, and then we'll go into a bigger preview and predictions for that Vengeance Day. This weekend, we have Elimination Chamber. I know John and Way obviously going to hold it down with Post Wrestling, but Sunday, search Poison Rana in your podcast app or on YouTube. We will be going live at 2 p.m. talking all about Chamber, some Dynamite, and everything else in the world of wrestling. We have tons of other podcasts. Give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We have all those things. And we have a Patreon if you want to hear our best match ever, AJ Styles in TNA, and our Beyond the Mat documentary review that we're going to do tomorrow, and so many other wrestling reviews, retro NXT reviews, and more. $5 to become a friend. PoisonRana.ca for all the links of everything else that we do. And we will talk to you very soon, talking about all the wrestling. Got A-dubs, WWE, it never stops, but we're always here. We're always here to be your friends. Okay? We're always here for you. Appreciate the love. Did we get any feedback? I feel like I skipped over that, but
I think we've gone long enough.
That's okay. This is a very long show, and if you made it this far, thank you, and we'll talk soon. That is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye, and I mean it. Be safe.
Ahoy!